Hello, welcome Schrodinger's audience to the fourth and final session of our Scions campaign. We're playing on the open Hearth. There'll be a link in the bio below. We've played with safety tools. We've discussed like there's lines and veils, a general tone palette we've described, and of course we're playing with the X card. This is the final climactic session. We'll be coming to a climax one way or the other, as is traditional in the climactic session, and just kind of like. I think we'll just probably start by introducing yourself and tell me a little bit about your character. As in, like, okay, if it's the opening credits of our movie, what's the shot we see of your character? Okay, start with Jim. Tell me a bit about yourself and then Salazar.
Yeah, I'm Jim Crocker. Folks who recognize my name or my face, it may be because you bought a game from me at some point. I was a hobby game retailer for many, many years. Working with the Indie Press Revolution, I owned a couple of game stores in the northeastern United States, and that was kind of what I did for a long, long time. So I'm now retired from that. I'm doing librarian stuff, but have been a gamer for many years and a reader of comic books. And so it's my privilege and delight to be playing with Kieron, who I've been lucky enough to play with a few times before, but just, kind of my Venn diagram of my interests overlap very strongly in this thing that we're doing right now. I am playing, to kind of keep my goth cred up, I am playing Zalalaz, the sad boy brother of our trio that we've got going on here. And I think that, kind of the best way to get across what his deal is the opening shot, which is of a, large satellite size, like a space colony sized dead space god, a Kirby Galactus kind of thing with mummified features and everything, with glass over the eyes because there's people living inside its skull, of Zalalaz, my character, in his morbid black robe with the hood hanging down over it, and his cadaverously pale chin sticking, kind of jutting out from under that overhanging hood, as he stands there with his hands like this, as if in prayer, and kind of behind him there's this group of cultists that are just kind of chanting as we look out over a planet that looks like it's about half on fire, as if there's some kind of horrific conflagration going down underneath, and he's just kind of studying it to see what advantage he can take from it.
Great. I imagine the camera swinging over to, okay, tell me about Aurelian and yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Kay. I use the she and they pronouns, and I'm playing Aurelian Rex. I guess if Zalalaz is our goth kid, then Aurelian is our theater kid. He's a bit of a smooth operator, likes his dramatics, likes his themes. He's done a lot of making interesting political friendships and gaining interesting asset allies while he's been abound in our game. And we see him now perhaps sitting in just this giant amphitheater of marble and stone, and surrounded by his little coterie of his critic, his thief, his assassin, all these people, as he is slowly orchestrating a script for what will be the speech he will give, because of course he will win.
Of course he is. And finally, the camera move on to Salandras and Tay. Do you want to tell us about Tay?
Yeah. T, she, her. And Salandros, formerly radiant, now incendiary, a being made of flame that is becoming increasingly corrosive. Still as hot, but significantly less light producing. Radiant, I think, is probably actually the word there that I was looking for. And I think we see Salandros, classic brooding throne pose, leg over one arm, as Salandros is receiving intelligence from one of Salandros's many spies. Of course, we are all, galactic warlords. We've got many resources at our disposal, and is learning of Zalazaz's treachery and Aurelian's triumph in bringing the Collegia into the Empire. The Collegia that Salandros is the one who discovered and got exactly nothing out of it. And I think we see Salandros's fist beginning to clench, and this hot corruption drips down from it and begins to eat away at the metal of the ship. And I think we're going to see a little bit of a heel turn. Not that any of these people were great to begin with, but yeah.
They're perpetually turning on their heel. This is kind of it's like Lazy Susan or something. Marvelous. Actually, want to check the fiction. I wasn't sure if Zalazaz's treachery was public or not. I think it was secret, or was it? Jim, like, where were we with that? I can't remember exactly.
I think where we were is it was secret at the time. I am it's not the kind of thing. It's not the kind of thing that would have stayed hidden, right?
Yeah. Especially because we know that you've talked about wanting to take over the robots. So
I am perfect. Like even Salandros, and I know this is even Salandros was smart enough to figure that out. So,
wow, that's okay. The story so far, basically, all Scions of the Emperor were gathered back to Earth, and then the Emperor was assassinated by the War Master, the oldest son, who is now starting a campaign against the Empire to kind of claim it quietly. And they've been in the shadows as an antagonist. Things have escalated in various ways. Most recently, the College Psi were brought into the Empire by the charm and wit of Aurelian Rex in a battle of rhetoric against the War Master himself. And of course, Zalazaz may have interfered in a battle against the undead robots, and leading to the destruction of the best ever toast spread in the galaxy for the second time. And this is where the story picks up. One thing, this is the beginning of the war season of summer. If we check the actual glory, Aurelian is now the highest person. So the adjutant is now Aurelian's, and it refreshes, so you put a token on it. If I remember, of course, the wishes from last time that there wanted to be an exchange of cultures between Aurelian and Zalazaz. I note that your job now, you can set the scene for where the Scions meet anywhere you choose or anywhere. So this is an ideal opportunity for you to share your culture, if you want to, Kay, or Aurelian rather. So please set the scene. Where are you people meeting to discuss what's happening in summer?
Oh, yeah. It is just a bacchanal. It is this room that somehow has the absolute plush carpeting in the middle, but the surrounding is dirt. So we see just these vine trees planted, loaded with grapes. There's wine everywhere. There's pillows. There's aesthetics of all forms being bared and shown, writhing on the ground. There's plates of just opulence and gems. There's lit candles everywhere. And just sitting on a throne, right in the middle of it all, dead center, is Aurelian. Slightly higher up, there's a bit of a mounding in that soft floor, so he can see everything going on around him. He's naked, just chilling on the throne.
Excellent. Of course it is. I would say that probably Salandros enters next, I reckon. What would Salandros be doing in this scene? Say.
Yeah. So it sounds like this is in a vineyard. Salandros is not partaking. Salandros's own, fertile planet has just been completely decimated. I guess sort of removed of life entirely. There's probably a verb for that I can't find. And Salandros is stalking towards Aurelian with murder in Salandros's eyes. And as, this corrupting form brushes past the vines, they wither and die at the touch.
Perfect.
Sort of like a diving bird going through a flock of fish. I imagine many of the celebrants are sort of scooting away slightly, do not want to be standing next to this person.
And Zalazaz, what about you?
I mean, like, I think Zalalaz, as many other times, Zalalaz's arrival is kind of heralded by the sonorous chanting of his cultists, right? And so we kind of hear that, and then there's that, that kind of like ripple through Aurelian's various party goers and stuff like that. And they're, it's the thing where, somebody has noticed a turd in the punch bowl, and news of that is kind of starting to, ripple through the party. And the crowd is kind of parting. People are like, oh, and we all like smell like the grave and all this kind of stuff and everything. And so the crowd just kind of parts, and people are standing away, and they're like, we're getting some side eye for how we're dressed and all this sort of thing.
I'll put this out there real quick. I think Zalaz and Salandros can get away with this, but I don't know about your retinue. I think there was someone outside the entrance being like, clothes got to go off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Then, yeah. That would be a thing where Zalaz would just like make a gesture, and they would all drop their robes. And so you could get to see all of their, scabby, ribs showing, pale, nobody shaves anywhere, kind of thing going on that they've got. And so, so it's, there's now like a procession of people, that vaguely zombie looking people hanging out. They're walking in with me, and whatever. And if I'm sorry, did Aurelian have to come in the buff as well?
Oh yeah, he's Aurelian's on his enthroned buff. Yeah.
Sorry. Salandros. Salandros, did you strip down for this?
Yeah, I am thinking, because Salandros wears armor.
Yep.
I feel like you two could have gotten away with being like, I am God, I am not getting off. So Zalaz and Salandros didn't want to take off clothing. That's pretty good. But
I think someone asked Salandros to remove Salandros' armor, and Salandros reached out and grabbed them by the throat and rendered them to ash.
Yeah, whatever. Zalalaz is Zalalaz would leave his robe behind as well. In that, and not in a check me out kind of way, but in a sort of contemptuous, if you wish to, if you want to stare, that's your problem, sort of an attitude about it. So yeah. And yep, so he just comes walking in, the cultists are, hanging back. They're sort of mingling as best they can, given the situation.
Does anyone want to do anything before I kick off? Say anything before I kick off the adjutant's briefing?
I think, despite how unkind and unparty-like you are all being, you are still presented with goblets of wine and just a real level of just merriment and smiles.
And Zalaz raises an eyebrow and looks at the various repasts, and he says, I cannot notice, Aurelian, that there's no bread here. How tragic.
Yes, but I don't know. Bread's always been such a filler food. I think we're better off without it. And we see he grabs a grape and runs it through the honey itself.
Nice. I got a question because I'm interested. What's Solandris done with the remaining wheat smut? Whatever surviving, the only surviving ones in the galaxy, except for the ones in the hands of private individuals.
Yeah, because we said it can't be grown anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there were. I think it was a gift, and I'm trying to decide. No, yeah, it's got to be the Terran Lords. I think it was a gift to the Terran Lords with a little note that like you'll have to thank that Zalazaz for this being the last you'll ever get. Yeah. Full full on tantrum right now from Solandris.
They are very sulky, bless them. Yeah, perfect. Right, at which point we're going to get the adjutant arriving with the smell of death about them as the Emperor. It's like the Emperor's with you with that necrotic smell that haunts. Adjutant moves in. They, of course, are dressed. Is that ironic? Everyone else's hair is that way. The adjutant is wearing the cooling suit I mentioned previously, like same as Solandris. The whole being around Solandris as much as he has to be does lead to deep freeze stuff leaking off him in smoke. And with small gestures, he summons holographic arrays around the room. The situation in the galaxy is somewhat intense, my lords. The undead robots are the primary problem, have unfortunately decimated the small planet of Verdus 2. They appear to have set sight for deeper in the galaxy. They are converging on the Maelstrom. The fleet, when they left the planet, have all arrived in the Maelstrom, are engaged in a magical ritual beyond our ken. All the new colleges are somewhat bemused by what they're up to, but it does believe they're trying to purge the Maelstrom from the galaxy. It might be possible for something to do something about that. Well, unfortunately, some poor news to Zalazaz. The Orc converts you welcomed into the faith have started experimenting with the faith in a more elaborate fashion and kind of murdering themselves and growing. And they've created a rent in reality, which is possibly may just cut a large chunk out of one of the shrine worlds. So that is something which the Anchorite has requested that we do something about, or at least the Anchorite will be aware that they'll be not pleased about that. Oh, and further news from the College of Psi, brother sister. Will probably be best to say that brother sister. At which point everyone gets a sonic vision of the surgically cybernetically joined psychic being, and they speak in their dual voices. We've picked up a signal from deep space. It's an interesting signal. We're not sure what it means, but the psychics who receive the message immediately leak their brains for their noses, smearing down their chests in a way which we found most interesting. Several of our kind of gut readers did study the brains and learnt much, but unfortunately nothing concrete. We would certainly be interested in whatever people discover there. Okay, and that's basically what's going on in the galaxy. To sort of step into fiction, step into the rules for a second. The Orc raid is targeting the Faith. The Undead Robots is targeting the Maelstrom. The signal, there's a mission attached to the signal from the College of Psi saying, "Can you do this, please?" And also, like, this is also a good time to, like, if people want to do their own missions. Like, we've sort of set up the Undead Robot with Jim, but we can work out how we can do that, like, in the fiction slightly later when people pick missions. And I'll say, basically, I'll just remind everyone, we're going to do one season, and then we'll probably go into the end game, whatever that is. So it's essentially your last free move before everything explodes. I'll step back into fiction. Please, debate and argue. Aurelian, of course, is first citizen right now, so they get to lead the conversation.
Yeah, so he'll look down from his throne at everyone else and smile and say, "Tell me, my beloved family, where do you feel most pulled in this story of our world?" Not all at once. Come on.
I think Solandris's arms are crossed across Solandris's chest. Solandris isn't telling you anything. Again, full sulk. I think the longer Solandris stands there, the greater the sort of what is it the shape a ripple makes when it goes outwards, spreading in a circle of blight and desolation?
Really, big brother, such a tantrum. I expected more.
There's probably a German word for that, but I don't know what the I don't know what we would call that.
Blast radius, maybe?
Yeah. That's not bad. That's not bad. Zalalaz just kind of has this like bemused look on his face, and he's kind of like staring sort of somewhere like up into the middle distance, as if all of this that's going around him is just kind of terribly boring. But he says, I cannot help but admire the orcs, that their devotion to their newly found faith would be so profound as to tear a hole in the very universe. They grow up so fast.
Question for Jim. I think
Yep.
Solandris definitely found out that you were the one who, sabotaged
Sure. Yeah.
efforts. Do you think Solandris' spies would have been able to determine that you want control of the robots?
Like, I kind of thought my whole thing was gonna be to magnanimously volunteer to destroy them, but in fact, I was going to try to subvert them.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, certainly I have no idea. I have no problem with Solandros suspecting that that's what Zalalaz wants.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that like being 100% certain, like the whole point of like a lot of this feels like we're never quite sure what the others are up to, right?
Yeah.
But like I have no problem if Solandros is like, no, I know you, Zalalaz. You're up to no good. Like that's totally awesome.
I mean, I think it would be shocking if any of us were up to good.
Yes, exactly. But maybe not like, like whatever, like, I mean, what a lot of us, I think what all of us have is like just a whole lot of dead spies that we sent into the others, houses and stuff like that. That feels to me like, that's how most of our espionage operations go, I feel like.
Okay. I think as you were sort of waxing rhapsodic about these orcs, I think Solandris finally speaks and says, your piety is matched only by our siblings' frivolity. And it's very clear how little Solandris thinks of either of those things.
You really should take part a bit. You feel better. You're very tense.
Glare.
Aurelian Solandros has always run hot. We know this about him. If we merely give him a few days, his temper will not subside, but it will find another thing to address itself to.
Yes, he does tend to lose steam after a bit, doesn't he? Just as if you're not even there.
And I turned to Solandros. So what is the particular object of your ire today, brother?
Yeah. And I'm trying to decide if you can see Solandris' facial expression clearly. Well, I mean, we've been siblings for a very, very long time. I think you can read the look Solandris gives you is just, you know better than to ask.
Like, I kind of like the idea that, like, we can look at you and go, you know, the burning in his eyes has gone from bright red to it has a hint of blue in it now. So we know that like he's getting hotter and he's upset about something.
Again, and listen, if little siblings know anything, it's the annoyed facial expressions of their older sibling.
Yeah.
And I say, Salandros, perhaps if you are so upset about your failure to protect your bread basket,
Whoever's holding wine within, half a mile of Salandros, it begins to boil.
perhaps I can assist you by dealing with the undead robots myself. It is the sort of thing that I have been fascinated with since I was a child, and I am sure that
I'm sure you'd be delighted to help yourself.
If suborning them should prove more effective than destroying them, then of course bringing them into the cause of our shared empire, I would be foolish not to.
Salandros does not respond, but again, glare, sulk, etc. I don't need to keep reiterating this. Y'all know what the vibe is.
No one pouts like Salandros. It's quite a majestic thing to watch.
That's honestly your most redeemable quality in Aurelian's mind is how good you sulk.
Yeah.
And I turn to Aurelian and I say, I would advise you to see if perhaps you could engage the orcs in revelry, but I fear that their festivities might prove too much even for you, Aurelian.
You just get the most indulgent smile as he knows you're in his opinion you're trying to rev him up, and he's not going to fall for it.
I see you agree.
Yes. All right then. Let us move forward.
Brilliant. Now it comes to the moment we decide what actual missions we're doing. In this case, especially because there's more room for fleeting opportunities here, it's that kind of like just declare what you want to get up to in order, and we'll work out how that actually looks in the game. So from the top, Aurelian has to choose first. Where are you off to?
Oh, I'm going to help out my College of Psi friends.
Excellent. So you're heading off to investigate the signal.
Yeah.
Perfection. Who's next? It's Salandros is next, I believe.
Yeah, I don't have a super good idea for anything to directly sabotage one of Salandros' siblings, and it's pretty clear that Zazalaz wants these robots, so that's where Salandros is going. Also, doesn't want the Maelstrom destroyed.
Yeah, that's the useful thing. I mean, to give you an example of what you could use, I mean, generally stabbing it's quite hard to stab your Scions before the game reaches the end game, but like you absolutely, for example, if you want to, what you could do to piss off Zalazaz, you could I don't know, murder the star player, kidnap them, that kind of thing is that's the easy thing to do, or kind of reduce that's kind of like stuff the system very easily protects. But like you also going for the undead robots is great.
Yeah.
And Jim, what are you doing?
I mean, with Salandros committed to dealing with the robots that he failed to stop last time, I'm going to bring the orcs fully into the embrace of my cult.
Brilliant. The way I would suggest that. Okay, the way we can do that is is that you're basically trying to look to make them an asset.
Yes.
Cool. The way that operates is that's just slightly a harder thing to do. So I add an extra dice to it. So it counts as an extra mission.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to counting as fleeting opportunity, it's just an extra dice.
Oh, 100%.
There's a checklist here on
recruiting orcs way harder than killing them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But it's in the friction, it's also set up as well. So it's that kind of like, it's the sort of thing I might say, maybe you couldn't do that, but like you definitely can do it now, because we're following the fiction here. Fantastic. Which order? Have we got any? I think the signal last. Undead robots first, and then orcs in the middle. Does that sound reasonable to everyone?
Sure.
Yeah.
The actual mechanic is if people disagree, it's in descending order of prestige, but in reality, it's follow the narrative. What's interesting. Okay, we're quite. This sort of time we'll probably introduce some NPCs in this sort of bit, but we don't think we really need to. Okay, hard cut to the Maelstrom. Salandris, you left someone in charge, didn't you? We never actually defined who they were like.
Yeah. I think I said it was a trusted lieutenant that Aurelian had displayed interest in at some point, but that's all we had established.
Okay, this fascinating, interesting lieutenant. How could you tell when you arrived that they've been corrupted a little by the incredible wealth the Maelstrom provides?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think it's probably against Solar Fleet regulations to have visible piercings. And when, Solandris meets them on, whatever docking bay we're at, just a line of hoops of, I don't know what the most valuable metal would be, electrum, gold plated platinum, whatever. Down the side of the ears with long chains, and an incredible display of wealth. This is enough money to buy a small planet that's not particularly interesting, but that scale.
It's like every kind of unusual metal that's gone through the Maelstrom is now part of the face. It's like this is a display of the trade and the wealth of the Maelstrom is actually in there. My lord, things are inopportune. It's your gestures at the things inopportune. That's an incredible understatement. You look out into space, and the whole thing is corrupting. We defined there was like solar, like singing across the Maelstrom, wasn't it? That was the vague kind of thing. Like that the psychic chaos it all and the waves you kind of to dance around. It's like they're burning. They're being eaten alive, and you can sort of see occasionally these kind of undead robots are forming a larger structure in space, as in they're consuming everything here. And they're like going to create a black hole, maybe some kind of like magical black hole, which will basically cut off all these walkways in one go. It's pretty grim. And Lord Maelstrom is what I'm going to call him. Says all our magical rituals are naught compared to them. They are working in some kind of anti-magic, anti-psionics, anti-everything beyond their understanding.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt. I think I need to roll for the rogue trader.
Oh, you do? Please come back.
Okay, so
the Terran Lords, right? Because they have a corruption token as well.
They've only got one though, so abstractly you do.
Can't roll under a one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that is a d6. Dice. I have a 4 and they have a 4, so I think they come to me.
Actually, they should have 5 because I had to add an extra token. So so you're rolling less. So yes, they do come to you. And I'm going to say how they re-enter the story is that actually I'll save re-entering their story to until you get to your turn, if that's okay.
That's fine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also you refresh and stick a token on them. Yeah. Aurelian's got quite a little party there.
Yeah, that's his thing. He's got his peoples.
Oh no! You're right. That's the. I think I should have checked at the beginning of the session. Okay, we can start going to the actual. I think we've sort of set up the fiction. Let me roll for the undead robots, which is D6, D8, D8, and it's arduous. So D6, D8, D8. Let me just roll that. Actually, before I roll, I want to offer you an opportunity. Like for Salandris, like before you go in there, the Lord Maelstrom kind of says, "We have a message from the Solar Fleet." That's of course Admiral Raven.
Yeah.
Admiral Raven contacts as we've been following the shadow war between you and your brother, and of course there's some interesting opportunities. We've got some kind of provisional work that we believe which shows that they were trying to be subverted and had programming brought aboard. I think it's possible you might be able to hook onto that if you wished.
Also, which brother?
Oh, so sorry. I meant Zalazaz.
Salazar. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. As in other words, basically, she's saying that they found some early coding that Zalazaz was working on to try to subvert it, and they reckon that you can take that themselves. If it's going to be risky and it involves accessing your opening your defenses to their thing, they'll be able to possibly corrupt you, and it'll take a significant amount of resources. But it's doable if you want to try.
Yeah.
This isn't a submission from the Solar Fleet, but it's basically a chance for you to bring them in as an asset. This would add a D8, and it would also make it challenging. Challenging is a special. We've had a challenge so far. Like arduous is when you have to spend a pain to enter a combat. Challenging is when you have to spend a faction bond to even enter a challenge. So it's not. In other words, you'd have to spend some like real kind of political power to bring them aboard. But this is there if you want it. So, are you interested in doing that, Salandris?
I mean, I think 2 years ago, no, never. Now, absolutely, 100%.
I want. Add to D8, so you've got to spend. Okay, let me just roll because then you'll see what you don't have to actually join the challenge till then. But we add the dice and see what things turn up. 12 is the total. Who will face this challenge of unnatural? The maelstrom itself being set afire with uncanny, impossible robotic anti-magics.
Yeah. Salandris is absolutely into it. We'll see whether or not it happens. And it's arduous and challenging, so I will spend Salandris's tie with the Blade Guild.
That's great.
And sorry, just a quick mechanics question. So this is just to enter the contest, so it does not add a D4.
Yes, exactly. Challenging is the really brutal one. Like that's the hardest kind of keyword, which we use sparingly.
But if Salandris can steal a march on Zalazaz, that'll make Salandris's day. So I think definitely willing to do it.
Cool. Shall I go for the dice pool system as well, just to remind everyone at the beginning of the session, or are you okay with handling it?
I will go through it, and feel free to correct me. I think that would be most helpful for me. So always get name and legend, which for Salandris is a D6 and a D8. Incendiary is Salandris's legend now. You said it was unnatural, so get unnatural, which for Salandris is a D6. And then it's agonizing. What's it? Anguishing?
Yes, anguish. Anguish means it causes pain. Arduous, yeah.
So take a pain, just table stakes. We'll definitely take another pain to add war because, surprising no one, Salandris is going to approach this with violence, which for Salandris is a D8. And I think the only other thing that Salandris could do here would be from cards or bonds. Salandris is currently Master of the Maelstrom, so is definitely going to add the Maelstrom, which is a D8. And that's on the asset card.
As I say, it's D8, but it also varies according to the thing. I think it's D10 in this case.
Makes sense.
Because it's literally a battle for the Maelstrom. What could be more Maelstromy than that, I think?
Yeah, home field advantage. All right, so that's currently 2d6, 2d8, and a d10 to match 12. And I mean, this is a tremendously bad idea because it also means the Salandris isn't going to be able to use Salandris's power. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use a bond with Zalazaz as well. Get that back, which is name?
D6. Yes, D6.
Okay.
I will say, if you're wondering about when you get some more faction bonds, because that's a bit low on the table, there's a point in the middle of the Civil War where you get some faction bonds. Not many, but some.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide how peeved Salandris is. Already spent a lot of political capital just to make this happen at all. And sunk cost fallacy is also going to spend a D4, Solandris' last faction bond with the Terran Lords.
Excellent. Right, good luck.
All right. So that is 3d6, 2d8, a d10, and a bonus d4. Except I hit the d6 instead. Oh no, I can't decrement. Okay. Oh, you can't. You just have to click the number.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 17. No, yeah, 17. Right, you definitely we'll do the stats afterwards, but that's a good one. Set up the narrative. Okay, we're in the Maelstrom, and in the center of the Maelstrom, there is a whirling structure of these pyramidal floating fleets of these undead robots. They are moving in slow circles with anti-energy crackling between them on a galactic scale, forming arcane shapes beyond any mortal ken. Any mortal ken except for Solandris. What happens?
Yeah. I think we start very zoomed out. We see this, snarl within a snarl of this enormous spell being cast around the Maelstrom. And then sort of popping out of the warp around it are the Legion ships of the Blinding Suns, which are themselves gleaming with radiation and energy. And I think about half of them attack, right? But this is really just to distract these undead robots. And I think, most of those ships are actually destroyed. We can see them being ripped apart by their horrible little pointy feet and their bodies being devoured as these creatures replicate themselves. Screaming, rending, etc. But the other ships of the fleet find position, and then there are searing beams of solar energy that begin to connect them in this nth dimensional lattice that is the perfect inversion of the spell that was partway cast. And I think we zoom in to Solandris' flagship, where Solandris is sitting in this reactor core powering this. And I think very close shot of just the eyes as they burn and burn and burn, and then cutting to the eyes of these undead robots, such as they are, as one by one they drop their half-eaten soldiers and reorient towards Solandris, and that same fire sparks in their pupil, and they begin to we can see the wavering of heat, like off a hot road, as they begin to take on some aspect of their new master.
Brilliant. I'm going to frame a quick scene after that with you back at the Maelstrom with the Lord of the Maelstrom, and like around the central citadel claim from the Tyrant. Your not father figure. You have this fleet of undead robots, and I'd say Raven's there with you, in her chair that's being carried on wires in various places, looking out at the fleet. Hell of a plane you've got, Solandris. I'm impressed. Oh, this was delivered for you, and it's a package, and it's come from Earth, Terra. And it's basically it's a slice of bread with some of the wheat smut on. And it's from the Terran Lords saying, thank you for the vengeance wreaked upon, ruined several of our very fine parties. Okay. If everyone's okay, because I was just sort of thinking about this in the fiction, I would quite like to give you a bond with the Terran Lords again, because we kind of set up in the fiction that they were pissed off. And that kind of I just want to show an example of oh no, this sounds like especially with you've got no political capital. There's a sense of I think you probably deserve something for that. Especially because it was targeted against you. So does that seem reasonable to anyone? In which case, I'm going to lob one on the Terran Guilds. And actually, okay, it's not. I'm just going to. Does that count a mission as well? No, Doesn't count as the mission. It just counts as a free faction bond.
They liked what happened, but they didn't tell
Yeah,
you.
they like. It's different. Like, it's liking what happened is a kind of normally the free faction bond is like if they were getting attacked and you just stop it. Which is this is kind of how I framed it in the fiction. You can move the undead robots to your area, and you
it
refresh them.
crosses a line, so it gets a point.
Correct. You get 12 glory.
Yeah.
And that's excellent. Next is we cut across the galaxy to one of your rivals, the Orc world, where I made a mistake earlier. I said the Anchorite sent the mission. Of course, the religion is a Mistress Blade. So Zalazaz would arrive to find a series of an armory, carefully detailing what's been going on. A Mistress Blade is sort of standing there, kind of giving you the briefing, mainly by pointing at individual knives in a kind of pre-prepared way. But you can see down below in this shrine world, it's a world that's been carved in the shape of an enormous dagger, tumbling through space like it's going to aim at someone's head. These orcs are chanting and kind of burning a hole in reality. Mistress Blaze draws 2 fingers across her throat in the gesture you know well. Anything you say to her, Zalazaz?
No, I pull my hood back and I drop my head back to expose my throat with the nasty scar that's right across it, that looks like it got like ugly stitched back together, in my kind of gesture of devotion to her. And then, hood comes back up and I turn my attention to the dagger world.
Sweet. In which case, I think we just jump straight into the fiction here.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got a set of dice. It's it's D6, D6, D8, as in because you probably have to go in and fight them as well to stop the magic. There's an extra D8 because you want to actually bring them in. Sorry, there's an extra D6 because you want to bring them into your faction.
Yeah.
So it's 3 D6 and a D8. So it's also dangerous. So if you fail, it's a corruption, not a challenge.
Sure.
Let me just roll it.
I, Zalaz, will accept.
Your total. Their total's 11. Who will face the challenge of preventing these orc cultists from destroying a very important shrine world?
I, Zalaz, will protect the shrine world of my mistress from these rampaging savages. Yes. So, I've got my name. Oh, you know what? I need is my I need my dice roller. Is what I need. As I'm getting all. Here we go. All right. Make sure it's working. A little screen refresh there. And the dice roller's been a little cranky on me. Here we go. All right. I have my name for D6. My name's Zalaz. I have, what else have I got here? I've got my name for D6. I've got my legend Faustian, which is another D6. I've got what is this a challenge of?
It's a natural challenge because it's another magical one.
There we go. Yeah, I've got that. I will mark a pain to bring my cunning to bear. Not that you need a lot of cunning, you don't need a ton of cunning when you're dealing with orcs, but it can help if you understand their feral nature and can, most people think you just throw bodies at them, but there are other ways to go about this. So I will add a D8 there. And what else? What are my other options here? Let me see. Got that. What are my other options? I'm doing this on behalf of Mistress Blade herself, so I will take one of my. I will bring the faith in if I can.
Yep.
And that gives. Does that give me a D10? Is that what's
D4.
going on with that? What's
D4.
that?
Faction
That's the
bonds is
D4 that we add on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to sort out the UI around that. But yeah. Anytime you add a faction bonds, D4.
Got it. D10 is there. I mean,
name.
that's like we just put a thing there that reminds us of that, like on the board, and that should be fine.
Yeah.
Got a D4 there. What else? What are some of my other options here? Oh, you know what? You know what this is all going to be about? This is going to be about challenging, like going down there and like introducing them to
Murder Ball, or whatever we're calling it.
To Murder Ball. Yeah, I think Murder Ball is great. Murder Ball is a great name for it. Introducing Murder Ball to them, and like in terms of like an entire species composed of nothing but football hooligans. This is like, I feel like this is tailor made for this. So I'm gonna bring the star player in to this.
I mean, Zach's gonna be like, I was born for this.
Yes, yeah,
Big C, Big C.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Exactly. Yes, yeah. You know, and so.
I would give you. I'm going to give you a D10 just because it's D8 would be a little bit more like the fact the entire plan is based around football makes me like want to be generous with it. So D10, that's as high as I will go.
Thanks. This is my World Cup pandering that I'm doing.
Oh
right
no,
now.
absolutely.
So all right, so we got a D10 for that, and basically, yeah, I am introducing them. I'm going to channel their aggression productively into sports rather than ripping a hole in reality. So yes, yeah, that's going to be what my effort is here. I don't
know. This is what being progressive looks like in this universe.
100%. I'm like the worst football team owner literally in the entire universe. So I think that's fantastic. There's no greater villain. And is there anything else that it makes sense for me to bring in here? I don't think so. I don't think that necessarily my connections to either of my siblings here is necessarily relevant or anything. So I'm gonna roll with what I got.
12 is strong. Good luck.
Yeah. Oh, did you set me up? What am I looking to hit here?
I did. Your total is 12, I think.
Is 12.
No, 11, I'm lying.
11. Let's see how we do. Oh, that is terrible.
That's terrible. Yeah,
that's the worst roll we've seen in the entire game, I think.
Wow.
It's gonna get me all the way to 8 with all of those dice.
Okay. And that's definitely you suffer, therefore you take an extra, you have a corruption, instead of just failing, you take a corruption instead. Let's set up the narration. Okay, they're doing a hole in reality. I think they're sort of in a circle chanting, doing a kind of like wave around it. They're doing like uncanny football hooligan chants, which are so vile they're tearing a thing in reality. At which point, the football, murder ball is about to kick off. They turn, there's a game about to happen. How does it go terribly wrong, Zala?
The first thing they do, like we get in there, boom, like we're ready to go, and the whistle blows, and the orcs immediately murder the referees.
Of course they do.
It's like the first thing that they do. The referees who are like armored and spikes and all this kind of stuff and everything, and like brightly painted so that the players know to stay away from them. But the orcs are immediately like, oh yeah, clearly those are the guys that we got to take down first. And they do that, and and the stadium goes even more berserk than before. And and I think that it's a thing where the orcs murder the referees. Jax and the other human players are there's a moment where they're not sure what to do. And then they realize they're off the leash as well. And so they start doing all of the crazy shit that they've always wanted to do in a game but could never get away with. And it gets out of hand very, very quickly.
Yeah. And it's just a hole is punctured in reality. And it's like, oh, it's a memorable game anyway. And afterwards, it's Murderable. Yeah. You got Zach afterwards going, that's a memorable game, though. You've got to say that. As we pan over to see the Shrine World, the huge hole taken out of it. They're not too happy. Right, you get 1 glory. Because even if you fail, you get 1 glory. We put one... I put a Chaos token on the Faith because they're not happy. And you've already taken... You take a Corruption. You also, because you've lost it, specifically... oh, no, we flip it the start next turn. We don't do it now. No, yes, actually we can. You flip it when it can't be interacted with. So feel free to flip the card and see what the problem is. It's fine. They disappeared out of reality.
Where'd they go?
Oh, dear, this game. At which point, from the hole in reality, we move over to Aurelian, making the way through deep space. Towards the distant signal under the will of the Clogier Psi. At which point, someone approaches you at high speed. How do you identify it's the Road Traders ship they finally found?
Oh, there is just this little epithet written into the side of the ship. And
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just tells Aurelian all he needs to know. It's from their first and last conversation in person before the trader went away.
Yeah. Is that kind of like, it's like, I promised is the ship's name?
I promised, yeah.
Yeah. And they arrive and they kind of crawl out the ship desperately and they kind of, I came as quickly as I could. I found, more urgent things first. The War Masters cloned the Scarlet Contagion, the Pirate Lord, and it made hundreds of them out there, sent them at you when you're far away from anyone who can help you. They're gonna kill you when you're out here. They're trying to murder you. And then they sort of collapse into the ground, exhausted, like a runner, like a marathon runner in that initial battle. You know the situation. You're out in deep space, only alone in your flagship, with the Scarlet Contagion's fleet sweeping in on you. And let me just summon up the dice rolls. It's relatively easy as it's just the standard one. So 3d6. 11 is the total. Who will face this challenge of war and face the Scarlet Contagion in the depths of space?
Yes, it is Aurelian Rex. Legendarily smooth. So that is a d6 and a d8. Then this is war. So that is also a d6. And then I have a question about pain.
Yes.
Can they only be singularly used, or can you use multiple pains in a turn?
No, only 1 pain per turn.
Yeah, so I'll spend a pain. Why not?
Okay, pause. I should have said you can only. It's called channeling when you choose to spend the pain. Obviously, if there's something that makes you lose a pain, that's allowed as many times in a turn as required. But you can only channel once.
Yeah. So I'll channel my pain because they do not know what unnatural things they deal with in this war that I bring onto the battlefield. They are woefully underprepared for that. And then question, this is for the College of Psi, correct?
Yes.
So does that mean I will get a token from them at the end, or is that a...
You will get, if you succeed in the mission, you will get a bond. It will succeed as a mission, so you'll get a bond with them, and you'll also count as an XP. But it'll be renamed to Power. I think is actually what I'm going to rename it to.
Okay, so I'll use their D4. I'm helping them out.
Cool. It makes a lot of sense to give you instructions.
Yeah, we learned. And I think, I'll rock with that. I think that should be 2d8, 2d6, and a d4.
Good luck.
Oh, baby. That is a 12 plus 4 is a 16.
Cool. Excellent. Okay, then they're upon you. No sooner than the trader has sort of collapsed, The Scarlet Contagion cloned them awful bloody red like bits of flesh torn from the body of a monster flying towards you, sending attack. Something like missiles that look like they're alive, each individually piloted by a clone of the Scarlet Contagion, desperate to kind of crash into you. The numbers are enormous. They all fly towards you elegantly. What do you do next?
We just see Aurelian exit their ship. They're standing on an edge base, lyre in hand, as we watch as their fingers come up and they strum it, and we see this reverberation of a natural sound. And then his uncanny choir-like voice rings out as he starts singing a ballad of family at war, of siblings betraying one another, of an eldest sibling so jealous of his younger brother that he could not stand it. And despite how much he had once professed to love the younger brother, he knew that the younger brother would one day be so much greater than him. And in his folly, instead of uniting, he stood against his brother and he fell. And the youngest conquered all. And we just watch as that music, that song reverberates and just shatters every single ship.
Excellent. And so they sort of quote, they float these chunks in space as you make your way on elegantly. And you find the source of the signal. Do you want to flip it?
Yeah. Horus Alpha. Oh, it's a planet.
It is. Let me just...
It's a desert world. Ooh.
It is. This is one I've rewritten, not since. It's a desert world. It basically was once verdant and is now completely almost like barren. There's endless sands and desperate nomads jealously protecting their water condensers. And they say there's actually ancient tech beneath the surface there.
Old things.
Yeah, it's been a lot. But it's kind of like it's Fallout meets Dune would be the two aesthetic things I would give you for this planet. As you arrive, you're sort of contacted by someone called Archaeo Pilgrim Fal, who is the once and future Sand Seer. You kind of meet them on the sands. They're kind of like a ship of Theseus as a human being, a mixture of cyborg and parts. They've been constantly recycled. They've been here since they lost track. In fact, question for you: what caused this planet to, in the fall of the Empire, what caused this planet to become this desert world you see before you?
Ooh, what caused it to become this desert world? I think they were so invested in seeking out this ancient riches that would be in their world that it kind of almost drove the populace mad. They were so invested in that they stopped taking care of basic infrastructure needs, the crops, everything. Nothing was tended to in this like mad gold rush dash until everything just fell apart. And suddenly they were like, oh, we can't even think about this because if we don't actually focus on our day-to-day, we're dead.
Perfect. And Fal speaks, the place has seen better days. Please, I'll take it. Come, join with us. We'll give you some of our best water, only been recycled 72 times. Yes. And I think we'll leave it there briefly, just because we can. So you got so go for the top. You get a power, an XP, aka power. You get 1 bond with Cologia Psi. You get 11 glory, and you also move that planet into your region. And I've got the image of like the Cologia Psi specifically. They've kind of heard that maybe a future Sonic savior would have come from this world, and this is kind of the reason why they've been trying to find it. That's the kind of thing that's been going on behind the scenes. And that's great. And just before we cut to the break, there's one thing. Like imagine like Zalazar's just incredibly frustrated at the planet, and I want to picture him going to the armory and he finds a weapon that's out of place. This isn't one of Mistress Blade's weapons. And they pick it up, written on it on the side in very familiar handwriting. The handwriting of your brother is, how do you feel like joining the winning side? And then we'll cut to the break. Probably do the first half of the end game and then have a quick break, then the final half. Because it's basically what happens now is 2 back-to-back challenges. Not challenges, sorry. Struggles. Which decide the future of the galaxy. And before I sort of dive into any more about that, has anyone got any questions or any thoughts, anything they want to say going into this mess? Excellent. Right. The way this plays out is, I said, I've never played this one. This is the end game mainly for PvP, as in terms of the classic Civil War ending. But I kind of realized, like last week, I can just use this as an end game, full stop. There's no reason not to. And this is, I don't even really need to rewrite any of the rules. It should just hold together. As we just, instead of calling it the Civil War, we call it the end game structure or whatever it is. But in this case, it is going to be the Civil War. Let's sort of let's just go straight into it's the season of winter. One thing about from now on, there's no more seasons of rest. So in other words, that doesn't happen. Aurelian, I believe you're still number 1.
Indeed.
In which case, please, do you want to set the scene for this meeting of minds?
Oh, yes. So I think what we have here is we are on this desert planet. We're on, what was the name? Pyrus Alpha.
Yeah.
And despite all of that, the scene is not at all different from the last gathering that Aurelian had. There is opulence, there is wealth, there is this there is this risen throne. There is clothing this time because sunburns are not fun. But all of that luxury, that the same level of opulence has been brought here, as if this planet isn't starving and having issues. Still, yeah, this grand exhibit, and just same thing, different story. Perhaps there's a bunch of gold that has been risen to create kind of pillars to put just like the most decadent fabric around, so only some of it's open, so you can see like the nice looking part of the desert on one side, but anything that would be like, ugh, I don't want to deal with that, is closed off in just heaps of deep red vibrant velvet.
That's beautiful. I imagine in the distance we've got some of the nomads staring with sad eyes at the opulence here. It comes to like orphans with the face against the window of the restaurant.
Yep.
But with a June spin. Excellent. So we've got Slandrus. How's your entrance?
Yeah. More subdued. I think this time Slandrus will accept some sort of hors d'oeuvre that immediately, cinders at Slandrus's touch. Maybe a touch smug. Maybe a touch smug.
Perfectly. And Zalalas?
Instead of the usual like robes and like I said, kind of cadaverous chin sticking out, to protect himself from the heat and the scouring sand and everything, Zalalas has completely wrapped himself in bandages, right? With just like slits between the bandages for where his eyes are and stuff like this. And, and his attendants this time, instead of the robed cult, they are, they're dressed more like they've got like kind of like ancient Egypt vibes going on, right? With like these ones are all like well tanned and everything, and they're like they're fanning me to make sure that I don't get too hot and everything, but still there's chanting going on. They're reading from scrolls and stuff like this, but I've got kind of like a mummy thing going on here in the heat and the sand instead of my usual kind of a gothic robe thing. That's good.
I mean, mummy's a great visual. At which point the smells death as the adjutant enters. So I've lost. Well, has the adjutant disappeared from the map?
I think it might have gotten flipped back to the assassination.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oopsies.
Yeah, there's a little, and now we've lost the token. Anyway.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'll just throw another one on there. It's all good.
Yeah, it'd be fine. It walks in. interesting news. He's actually fine. This is actually a perfect climate for him. He doesn't mind. He's been designed to be in desert worlds. So he looks more like R2D2 than ever. Just R2D2 stinks of not R2D2, C3PO. C3PO stinks of death. That's kind of the energy. And it says, the return to Horus Alpha is a momentous event. Important things in the galaxy. A signal has also been found by the Ecology of Psi into deep space. Matter of some interest. They're interested in the results. And of course, the Theatricus Gala is once again happening. On the great world of Theatricus, the psychic poets are gathering to perform and become poet laureates of the entire galaxy. Entered the competition. So who could possibly win? And there is, he sort of scrolls down the piece, there's a small matter of a large civil war that's about to erupt. It appears the War Master has been playing the longest of games and has got agents inside the entire empire, and large bodies will turn side and turn upon each other. In the same way he will assassinate the Emperor, he will assassinate the Empire, unless we do something about it. The Aurelian, the adjutant sort of shrugs in that kind of, yes, it is a quite bothersome situation you find yourselves in, my scions. Right, the way this sort of goes, the game carries on. Like, despite the Civil War's happening, and that's almost certainly 98% chance you're all going to choose to go to the Civil War, but stuff continues to happen. So if, for example, I don't know, an alien biofleet was invading, that would still be causing chaos whilst you guys are having a Civil War. In this case, you've been kind of lucky because it's just poetry is happening. Poetry is probably not disruptive enough. The way the Civil War is, we're going through a struggle. And it's basically, I've sort of framed it in the fiction as in, there'll be hunting for agents and other stuff will be happening. As in, like, all the plans of the War Master are coming into effect, and it's, are you going to go and try and stop them? In this kind of case, it's like, the way this would work if you're playing the whole PvP situation is that we've had this kind of, who of you is the rebel? And who chooses to rebel, who's on which side? We don't need to do that in this particular game, because we know who's on that side. And to be honest, if someone is to choose to fight on the other side, you don't need to declare it until the dice are rolled. You absolutely can, like, oh, I'm joining the War Master late. But I'm going to give you just a scene with Zalazaz briefly talking to the War Master in terms of the message he says. And the message is quite simple. The ancient Earth poets talked about whether it's better to rule in hell. And I'll tell you what's not actually best. Serving in hell. Zalazaz, that is the position you find yourself, as a footstool to your lesser brothers. If you stand beside me, you could have the Empire with me. And who's to say if I live or die? You are beyond death and we'll fight on. So that option is sort of that broadly there. And I just want to skip into the conversation now and let you talk about what you think is going to happen. I'll give you I'm going to give you the broad structure of the Civil War before we go in. First, it's the positioning phase, which is the same as always. As in this situation, we know there's agents everywhere. What do you do to kind of get in the political situation? Then we go to the you have to choose to seize or defend. The defense here will be incredibly loaded. As in the defense, there'll be like at least three defenses. No, there'll be three defenses, and they'll be targeting things that are precious to you. And then the seize. Seize means deliberately going out and actually trying to seize some of the factions. Whoever wins that gets to basically decide which faction goes to which side of the war. For example, if you win the seize, the person who wins the seize gets first pick, and then everyone else gets a pick. Then the person who wins get the last pick, with the way it works. And that also gets you a faction bond with whoever you pick. You would lose all faction bonds of people who go to the other side. And then there is the finale of the Civil War is the actual Civil War. That's the entire battle on the galactic scale. The next struggle in terms of the next month is going to be the end game. So it's either the siege of terror, the siege of terror if the rebels win, or the hunting the War Master if the War Master wins. But we'll frame that fictionally depending upon what happens there. Does that all make sense in terms of what we're doing for the end game? Just to make sure everyone kind of gets the vague shape of what's going down.
Yeah.
Cool. In which case, Aurelian, I believe you have a discussion to lead.
Yeah, so Aurelian, sitting on their throne slightly above all of you, smiles and turns and says, well, my siblings, it seems this merriment shall be our first before great grandeur seeks out and we take what shall be ours. Tell me, What are all of you thinking? What roles do you want to play? Come now, play nice. We're having such a good time. And he'll look across you both.
What role do I wish to play? I am, and ever, the Chosex. You speak as if it is a foregone conclusion that you'll be able to issue edicts to us. Slanders and I do not agree on much, but I believe we are in agreement that that is presumptuous.
Slanders nods.
Just the biggest, like, cat who's got the canary cream, like, way too self-smug, satisfied smile is on Aurelian's face. I think we can see, although you might flex and fuck it, it really would be for the best. Chosex, you're better as an archetypal hero, dare I say, than leading from behind the stage. Don't you think?
Your misunderstanding of hierarchy and whatever imagined papacy you think that I occupy notwithstanding, all of this has been a jape. A party. And like Zalaz just sort of dismissively waves at everything going on around right now. A charming aperitif before our brother decides that you have risen to the level of a genuine nuisance to him. Whatever peccadillos we are engaged in will seem like pleasant gamboling spring days compared to the season of woe that he will bring down upon your perfectly coiffed head.
He's already tried. And not once, but twice have I defeated his endeavors. Once directly against him in gaining allies and moving things, but also just recently he thought he could send a blight. He's getting old and senile in some ways. And while I admire him greatly, he's just not with it enough anymore. I'd hate to see you follow that trend, Zelazal.
Yes, well, as they say, youth wasted on the young, I fear.
You just get like the biggest pout. Slanders.
Slanders has been, watching this tennis match back and forth, I think, tosses something into Slanders' mouth, leans forward, curls of smoke. This is a time of war, my siblings. I have been crafted for this. And I think Zalaz. One sec. I'm gonna look at my pronunciation guide. Zalalaz. You hear in your head. The youngest does not understand death as you do.
And you get a kind of like. You get the mental equivalent of a "tell me something I don't know" grunt of agreement from Zal. I was like, yeah, no kidding.
And I think we all know that Zalalaz has had a little bit of a rough time. But I think Solandra certainly sees the Choseks as valuable. And I think also if Solandros is going to go up against, any of their other siblings, I think he's interested in having the Choseks on side, and we'll say, I command. Oh, what's a good name for them? The Blank of Death. What's a good thing for like a group of robots? Imagine that I said a cool word in there. Perhaps your hand would be better at the tiller. But of course, I would never.
And a long sigh, and I say, I have found that converts can be unreliable.
Treachery.
Oh, go for it.
And then I think Solandris withdraws. Yeah, so that was psychically between Solandris and Zalazaz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're having a psychic conversation. And if I may, I think obviously Aurelian doesn't hear this, but I think this is his domain. He's unnatural. I think he can tell you guys are like talking to each other psychically and leaving him out.
Oh yeah, there's definitely like face journey going on.
Yeah, and he just looks at you both and he says, "No, come now, siblings. Secrets are no fun unless you share with everyone."
And I think Solandris turns to Aurelian and says, "Fun is not my domain."
Just the biggest, like the biggest little sibling, like pouty, looks to the imperial adjutant being in like such a mom, they're leaving me out kind of way, like they won't play with me.
And Zalalaz, like if somebody whose eyes are hidden behind slits of bandages could narrow even further, like in an animated version of this, they would just kind of like squinch closed just a little bit. He says, since we are being forthcoming, has the War Master contacted each of you in an attempt to suborn you as he did me?
He has not. And I think for the first time, so Aurelian has been laying on this throne, like legs thrown over an arm, back against the other. And he has moved himself to actually sit properly and pay attention. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as you mentioned that, he's set up.
Solandros.
Well, Master did not mention it when last we talked.
In his heard it at one of Aurelian's soirees sort of way, he quoted the aphorism about serving in heaven rather than ruling in hell to me. Tedious, but on point, I fear. What do you recommend, siblings?
Interesting. When was the last time Zalalaz asked either of us for advice?
You tell me. He said, turning the question back on her. Sorry, I'm sorry. That's GM. That's GM brain. See if you're really throwing that to me to answer it, I will answer it.
Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah. Okay. I think that I ask you for your advice all the time, but I never. But in a way that it's like. In a way that's like, well, like, I know what I'm doing. What stupid thing do you think I should do?
Mm-hmm.
But this is like really no kidding. Like, I'm trying to read the room here, which I think is not usually I'm so, like, try to be so up like, I was going to say above it all, not above it all, detached from it all. Right. And like, the way I kind of drop that, and I I feel like I'm like genuinely engaged with you guys in a way that I very rarely am, I suspect. Like I'm actually asking what you think rather than allowing you to state your dumb opinion, which I do all the time.
Yeah, Sandra's has plenty. Well, I mean, Aurelian has the most glory. Surely they should speak first.
But as gracious a host as I am, I will allow you to go first.
Oh, please, speak, one or the other of you. This is not a time for courtly theatrics. The future of the Empire is at stake.
I think Solandris shrugs and says, I think the Empire will burn. The best we can do is smother what flames we can.
I'm reticent to agree with Solandros, but...
So, Aurelian, you'll fiddle it to its grave, then?
No. I think we need to work in tandem. Our brother, as much as I've always enjoyed and cared for him, has slain kin. And in doing so, he has wrought devastation and unease. If we wish to bring our forces together to create something great once more, we cannot side with someone who will do such a thing.
I propose that we use his arrogance against him. I will accept his offer in the tentative, begrudging, reluctant way that I am known for. And when the moment is appropriate, I will turn on him. The dilemma this poses for both of you, of course, is whether I will in fact do so and not join forces with him, despite having told you that is what I intend. So I have a proposal. An exchange of hostages, each of us giving the other something precious that we do not wish to lose, but that will be at the mercy of our siblings should we not deliver on our promises.
Solandris is listening.
I raise an, like one of the bandages goes up a little bit, indicating I'm raising an eyebrow behind it, and I turn to Aurelian.
I think there is some merit here. I appreciate your objective view. What would you propose we each give? Or would you like a volunteered thing?
So here's where I'm going to step out of character and say, Kieron, is this monkey wrenching anything game design wise or no? Okay, all right.
No. Honestly, I'm surprised that players never said, I'll do this thing if you give me an asset. That's something that's never happened in any playtest ever.
Oh,
and it's
really?
like, like I'm genuinely be surprised that's never turned up, because I think people since assets aren't very common, like people quite hold on to them. Unusually in this game, one player has a lot of assets and one player has very few. That's the actual surprise. That's actually the thing I'm watching. So like, this is all open in the game, so not monkeying anything. I will tell you one thing that is relevant to the Civil War. At the start of the Civil War, all your assets refresh.
Oh, that is very relevant. Yeah.
That is very relevant.
Yeah.
So what's that going to look like? That's going to be, and anything we have on anything goes away, and then we restart from scratch, or
basically
what is it?
Any asset without a token on gets a token.
Okay.
So in the case of actually, it doesn't do anything for Aurelian, but your star player would refresh.
Because otherwise, the benefit of trading assets is that when they go to the new person, they would be refreshed.
Yeah.
Because it moves to a new area.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like this is a thing where it's a little bit of kind of narrative player thing, where like you take your, each of us is going to take our favorite thing and give it to someone else, and we're going to go around, and that's going to be the kind of symbolic, like I sent my son to your court kind of thing, and then we find out how much do you care about the fact that your son is in that other court? Is it worth more to you to, to have him get shanked, to get a hold of power than to save them?
I think the challenge there for us is that we don't get the mechanical benefit of refreshing, because at the start of the Civil War it all refreshes, and B, Zalazaz's coffers are thin. I think.
I mean, or maybe what that just means is each of us chooses an asset that we just put off to the side because that represents it being held by someone else.
Third-party broker.
It's also tricky because some of the assets probably wouldn't trade themselves. It's like the ultra people go, "You what?" You know what I mean? It's easy to. Ironically, it's easy to like planets. That's easy to trade. Some of them are very easy to trade. Like, I mean, just most of them you could probably would do it. But that's a fictional positioning thing. Like the Bullet God may be kind of like, what do you mean? That's very much the Rorschach. No, I'm trapped. They're trapped in there with me. Like putting the Bullet God near you isn't actually a danger to the Bullet God.
Yes. Is it possible for someone to spend a faction bond on behalf of somebody else?
Yeah, I can see that. Like there's I'll tell you what, there's actually a thing in Paragon games broadly where you spend a faction bond to stop people, to make someone do something you want, which I haven't included in this game because the game is so much about denying. I think it's an element of like I would just say you sacrifice faction bonds with somebody. That's an easy way. It's like if you break your word, you lose a faction bond with that other person. That's an easy way of doing it.
Yeah,
and the rest can be fiction. Suppose we could fictionally position the assets as in like, oh yeah, the star player is in Aurelian's court, but a star player could still be an asset for Jim, because he could do stuff in the fiction that way. We can. It's one thing that you put stuff in the fiction somewhere, and it doesn't mean they're not longer an asset either. That's the kind of that's one way of looking at it too.
Yeah, I really like that. I think that's cool.
So, okay, so the way I've pitched it is, if you want to exchange people, you can, but in the fiction, you still keep them. And if you break your word, it costs a bond. Actually, I'm going to flip that. And it costs a bond, and the other person gains a bond because they're really pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work for you? Does that work for you guys?
Yeah, I think that works for me.
I'm writing this down as a future rule thing to actually turn this into actual rules.
I've just always found the exchange of hostages thing to be a fascinating custom, and you know, and also I've got like Kirby on the brain, something like Apocalypse and Orion and Scot Free and all that kind of stuff too. So that's
okay. In which case, let's cut in and hard cut to the person being delivered. Who do you deliver? It's worth noting, like, it doesn't have to be an asset either. Like if you had a kind of like Cerulean, in terms of something like that, any person in the fiction is actually, I think, fair game in this particular setup. So,
yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, please jump.
I think Aurelian sends the Imperial Adjutant.
Poor robot. Imagine the robot going in. Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, I'll send him in.
Cool. And who do you send them to, by the way? Are you saying it's a separate body, or you're kind of, it's just a central area where you all have access to? What's the kind of thought there?
I like the idea that we're like essentially putting them all on a play date. They're all in the same space together.
Okay, we need to name a place, which I would like. If we establish anywhere really cool. How about the Broken Shrine World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Like the adjutant is arriving there saying, "Oh, I have actually been in worse places." Salazar's. Who does Salazar send?
I mean, Jax. Yeah, for sure. 100% Jax. Yeah. All like you know, like arm in a cast, right, from the, you know, like, and you know, like manly cut over one eyebrow and stuff like that from the, you know, the fracas that he got in on the orc world,
right?
You know, with just story after story about that he won't shut up about.
Yeah. So Jack's looking at the adjutant. You don't know what you play murder ball. Salandras, who do you send?
Yeah, you know who really doesn't play Motorball? Salandran's statuified child. Yeah. And maybe just to make this a little bit more fun, just the head has been unstatuified and reanimated. So Salandran is able to talk a little bit and be talked
cool.
at.
Are you seriously chagrin. Telling me that kid is not a sports fan?
I mean, I think Kay's been the one who's been piloting. So yeah, what do you think?
I think he's a sports fan, but not in the way that he actually likes the sport, but he's just so curious by all the little machination details of like why this works this way. Like, well, who decided that? But why?
Yeah. And we leave Salandran and we leave them kind of discussing this and the murder ball playing as we could pan out and we see that all of them are actually covered with explosives that can be activated by any member, any Scion who's annoyed with them. Which is pretty grim. And we hard cut to the actual situation. Right, the Civil War it starts and it's like silent. It's like just messages being sent. The War Master just presses the button and blackmail information goes out across the galaxy. Things are moving carefully into position. Assassins prepare. Diplomats practice their lines. Ships start loading their weapons. War is coming. And we're in the first phase. This is the positioning phase. So everyone gets to choose their everyone gets to choose what you know, whatever faction they would like. The way this is going to work is I'm going to roll for the Civil War, which is the Chaos player. Then I'm also going to roll for the War Master. So the War Master in this weird situation is trying to beat the background radiation. So I'm basically playing the War Master as another character. The Civil War character, let me just put the board up. The Civil War thing, I've tweaked the thing. It's no longer risky. Yeah? So it is arduous and dangerous. It's not risky. So we'll do the initial positioning. So I'm going to roll for the Civil War to show the basic background of the Chaos. D12, D8, D8. Ouch. That is actually I'm lying, 15 for positioning. It's worth noting the situation as is. Hey, that's really hard. I'll roll for the War Master in a minute. In fact, the War Master will probably roll last, I think. So the Civil War rolls first, the War Master roll last. Everyone refreshes all their assets, including the War Master, who gains 3 bonds because there's 3 of you.
But our bonds with the War Master, we don't gain any bonds, just refreshing assets.
No, you only gain, you refresh your assets. The War Master has no assets, so, give the poor guy something.
Gotcha.
So remind me where I'm putting them. No,
Oh, you've just put 1 green token on top of your star player because you've only got 1 person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's it. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I'll just frame it. As I said, I've just framed the fiction. The messages are going out across the galaxy, and everyone is thinking about, for number 1, who will face this challenge of positioning for the battle beforehand. It's really, this is the least important one. All this actually does is allows you to refresh your strategic mastery, so your bond with yourself. So that allows you to add a D10 to a conflict if you want. It also allows you to use your special ability.
So there's no reason for Zalazaz to do it.
No, your bond with yourself.
Oh, I see. That's the War Master bond. Yes.
Yeah.
Did I didn't refresh a bond with myself at the start, right?
No, you only refresh the bond with yourself when you win the first stage of a struggle.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, the strategic mastery at the present is the rarest of the things to get back.
So joining this, if I succeed, will get me that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But you can also get it with your power.
Yep.
Oh, I can get it with my... I totally forgot about my power. Spend to add their name dice. Bond with another scion. Spend to add their name dice. Okay. Because I've got that strategic mastery thing going on. Okay.
Yeah, so Faustian Pact is your fancy special ability.
Yeah, okay.
Right, everyone assemble your... Remember, since abstract, this is semi-competitive at this... It's not actually. Like, everyone assemble their dice pools now, basically. And then say if you're going to face the challenge.
I will leave this to my able siblings because I'm at this point, the War Master thinks that I have accepted his offer.
It's worth it. If you don't help, you're allowed to actually pass your name bond. Your if you want to choose to actually explicitly help somebody, you can pass your relevant dice of their challenge to them, and you would gain a bond in exchange for that as well. So, whereas if you chose to help Salandris, you would pass, I don't know, whatever dice Salandris had, and you would gain a bond. So it's an easy way to get something.
Got it. Okay. Well, see, here's the thing. For this early stage, the War Master needs to believe that I'm on his side. So I'm going to give that die to him just for this first contest.
Sorry, quick refresher for me. Arduous, dangerous, risky. Arduous is...
Arduous means you have to spend a pain to enter the conflict.
Okay.
Yeah. Dangerous is you spend a corruption if you fail the contest.
Okay.
And risky
is faction bond.
Yeah, faction bond, but we're not doing risky in this case. I've just deleted that from the card, and I haven't edited it yet.
Do I have to pay those costs to loan a die? Is that like being part of the contest?
No.
Okay, all right. I'm lulling him into a false sense of overconfidence here by loaning him that die. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And do I have to move something over, or do you?
No. Just tell me. You gain a bond. So gain a bond with the War Master.
Okay.
As in, so I'll grab your black dice. Here you go.
Okay. Yep.
And I will add an extra whatever I choose for my faction bond. Probably cunning is what I'll probably add. Ooh, this is interesting. How does this work?
It's your game, bro.
Yeah. So no. I mean, like the fact I've separated the War Master into a character. The War Master has his own stats, which is changing. I'm just going to use them as the dice and worry about that later because I see the problem now. Right, is everyone ready? All their dice? Oh, no,
no. Not yet.
So if you want to talk through it, feel free, obviously. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I assume Aurelian is also meeting this challenge.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think you said, so this is a cunning challenge, or is he just taking...
You could choose whichever one you want in this case. As in,
Okay.
like, basically, for positioning, you choose which stat you want to use.
Okay.
And we have to meet a 15.
Yeah, which is a really good big roll, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And you get a corruption if you fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slantress is going to do it, but I'm not going to invest a lot. So I think that'll just be name legend, D8, D6,
Cool.
D8 for war. We're fighting a war. And then additional D6 for, I think unnatural. Especially trying to keep these undead robots under control, I think is a lot. A lot of magic shit.
Cool. Aurelian, are you ready to roll?
Yeah, I think so. I've got my name and my legend. I will... Yeah, and I'll spend a point of pain to bring... to additionally bring my... I'll do unnatural. And then I'll additionally bring war into this, because this is a civil war.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to... In which case, everyone roll.
I think we both failed.
Well, that's okay. Like, you both failed, in which case we both get outmaneuvered by the... So, basically, I've also realised I'm going to change how I'm going to do the War Master. I'm going to roll the War Master as part of the Civil War. I'm actually going to change that one around. Because it doesn't work very well rolling separately. But in which case, we narrate it. The War Master's messages go across the galaxy. Describe, who rolled lead, who rolled worst.
I think it was I'm player one, so I think it was Cerelian. That's not the character's name. Salandras.
Okay, Salandras, narrate your efforts to try to get in position for this political battle across the galaxy and how it goes awry.
Yeah, I think Salandras really overextended politically, and I think this looks like very exciting footage. We see a bunch of like messages being returned unread, emissaries trying to get meetings with the Solar Fleet, and just being like nobody ever shows up, and maybe Salandras gets a package at some point that has the hand of the head of Salandras' spy network in it, and just sort of on every angle foiled politically and unable to rally the support Salandras thought would be available.
Perfect. And what about Aurelian?
Oh, I think everywhere he goes and sends people to curry favor and bring delights, the War Master's just been there first. Like, oh, sorry, nope, you're a step behind. You're too late. We've already signed our agreements with the War Master. And no matter just where he goes, it's like, oh, sorry, kid, a little too late.
And Zalalaz, what information did you leak which was crucial?
Crucial to what?
To the War Master, as in, like, in terms of this positioning, you were kind of aiding them. What was that? Maybe pretending or maybe not, but like, what did you leak them?
I feel like I leaked that hostage exchange agreement.
Ooh, nice.
Like I let him know that like everybody is that the hostage exchange means like we're all distracted by that, right? That they're thinking about that and not focusing 100% on the War Master, and whatever time it took to set that up and everything. That's I think that was what I leaked. Like 100% Yeah, that we set that up, that we had a meeting to talk about him, and that was the conclusion we came to, that that was going to supposedly keep us from betraying each other.
Nice. Worth noting, I haven't actually been checking everyone's pain or corruption. So like if people hit a boundary mention, I don't think anyone has. It's worth noting that was dangerous, so everyone takes corruption rather than pain.
You know what? I see that I just took my first corruption. Does anything happen there?
Absolutely. Yes.
I note that it is, you know what? I didn't, it's, I can see it's a different color, but it didn't have like a mouse over or anything. So I didn't realize.
Sure. Anything colored barred is you gain an advance or
Got it.
transformation.
Okay.
So
okay.
If you want, do you want to give the transformation? What's the visual effect upon
Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm going to advance my cunning D8 to a D10.
Nice. This is pretty sneaky.
Yeah, and like you know, and like maybe I'm musing to the Mother of Blades. That I have reached the glorious point where even I don't know who I'm loyal to anymore, and like how freeing that feels, right? You know, it's kind of like this sort of apotheosis that I've had. Yeah,
that's perfect. At which point we move into the Civil War. Things are bad. Sorry,
I also hit corruption.
Perfect. Do you want to have the new the frictionally frame this is all this has gone down. You just heard that basically all these things are moving through the Terran Lords. Everything in the Parliament system is ablaze, and all these messages are going apart. And we get this moment of like you realizing what's happening, and that's probably where I think your ability your change of shape happens. So what's that look like?
And I think, yeah, we see he's pacing. He's no longer lounging. Something has gotten Aurelian onto his feet, and we hear just this murmuring. And every murmur, it starts to shift, and the resonance, it almost takes on a doubling tone, as very preoccupied with the fact that he wasn't there first. He leans more into his unnatural, into this psychic resonance, this place. And we watch as one of his eyes just completely glazes over, goes like milky white. It exists in a completely different sphere of reality than current, as he tries to find a way to move faster in multiple places without actual movement, but only psychic resonance.
Perfect.
And I will move my my D8 to a D10 in unnatural.
Right. We've got the big swingers coming out. This is exciting. Fantastic. The situation is, well, it's messy. You kind of realize all this stuff is going down. The War Master with their agents and diplomats are trying to take control of the galaxy as best he can. But kind of news reaches you kind of separately. The plan is much bigger than just the Parliament system, much bigger than Terra. You hear, for starts, Landris, there's news from the Maelstrom. Is that Admiral Raven was there last time you saw. And Admiral Raven has been like agents inside there are now taking over the Maelstrom, and basically the Admiral Raven's close ship. So it's like a subsection of the Solar Fleet is trying to basically take over the Maelstrom, and actually is going to particularly assassinate Admiral Raven. The Tyrant, however, has been positioned to head over to try to take over the Solar Fleet as well. All that's going down. The arsehole. So yeah, Mummy's in trouble, and then the Maelstrom will go down with her. Salazaz, you've got this is a weird situation off the side. By positioning the star player, Zax, upon the Shrine World, he is weirdly close to the place reality collapsed. And as such, his reputation has reached other dimensions. So your enormous and growing mystical, your cunning makes you realize, oh no, he's just been sucked into the other dimension to play as a star player in hell, to be tormented into eternal games of Bowl. And unless someone can actually go to this other dimension and save him, he's going to be lost forever down there. Meanwhile, Aurelian, there's an interesting thing. The thing that the War Master promised is that the Executioner, the Voe who hunts eternally for the Ultra Thief, he has given enough agents to actually corner the Ultra Thief on a very casual mission. And unless someone actually can catch up with the Ultra Thief and get them out of there in time, the Executioner will finally bring them to justice and in front of the War Master. Okay, they're the 3 threats you've got to defend against if you want. So your choice either cedes, as in go and actually really try to get the political game underway, or actually go and do something about the people who you know, and also your assets for that matter. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about what you want to do. And then in descending order of glory. So Aurelian, Salandras, and Zalazaz, say what actually are you going to defend or seize? One thing about defending and seizing, I'll tell you here. As in seizing, you defend, you roll the defense against, you can choose whichever one of the defense you want to do. So, for example, if Zalazaz wanted to save the Maelstrom, just roll and say, I'll save the Maelstrom. Yeah. It's also worth knowing this is a situation where you can choose to make something happen. Like if you really wanted, say, I don't know, Zax to be in hell, you could choose that, beat the defensor and say, that's going to happen. Now, this is less likely this stage of the game, but later on in the next round of the struggle, where it becomes who's going to live and die, maybe you really want to make sure someone dies. So I just want to frame that here now. Aurelian, are you going to seize or defend?
An Ultra Thief is my BFF. Of course I'm going after them.
So, fuck this paperwork.
Fuck this paperwork. My BFF's in trouble.
Okay, Aurelian. Yeah, I've got a love for the theatre kid. Salandras, what are you going to do? Defend or seize?
So what is that? So is that seize or defend?
Yeah, seize or defend. If you choose to defend, it means you want to stop a thing from happening. Seize means I want to get into the political battle to decide the future of the Empire.
Okay.
So it's duty versus personal stuff.
I mean, Salandras already said the Empire would burn. I think Salandras has made peace with losing a lot and is going for seize. But I think certainly Zalazaz knows that defending the Maelstrom would not go unrewarded.
Yes. Fantastic. And Zalazaz, what are you going to do? Defend or seize?
Oh, seize. I mean, that's I like you know.
Oh, yeah.
Jax is amusing, but in the end, he's not. You can't. We're not going to build a religion around him. One rotator cuff injury. He's one rotator cuff injury away from irrelevance. So yeah.
Fantastic. Right, I'm going to let's go to defense first. I think we'll frame that as in the Ultra Thief. I'm trying to think, what do you reckon the Ultra Thief was stealing, Aurelian? What do you think? Ultra Thief probably mentioned something they were after, what they're interested in.
Oh, it's got to be the most unimportant BS, like something that they're trying to maybe take from the War Master, but actually has no fucking consequence. It's like, their favorite baby blanket. Like, it's just something that would be like theoretically, actually, no, I take this back. I love this. They are stealing a jewel the color of Aurelian's new eye from the coffers of the War Master.
That's great. Honestly, I imagine the close-up on the War Master's weapon, because I think we ever said what the War Master was armed with, did we? But in this case, this jewel-encrusted hammer, and there's like this one beautiful color, exactly like Aurelian's eye, and the Ultra Thief is going for it. And it just the Ultra Thief is taking it delicately. And when the War Master says, there you are. At which point we're going to roll the dice and see what happens. Right, the way I'm changing this around, because it's only by really kind of looking at the rules, I've sort of realized how this is going to, it's better to instead, you've got to roll them together, basically. So the relevant stats are, it's not a galactic war. It is perilous and personal. So it's D8, D8, the risky and the legion is involved. So I reckon it's 2 D8s. 4 D8s is what we're rolling here for him. And he's also going to spend a D4 because he's got a lot of them. Here we go. Ooh, ouch. Okay, so they're about 14, 18. Who will face this challenge of, like, in this situation in Defend, you get to choose what tactic. It's also, this is one of the ones where you can choose what you want, but you should choose the one that's appropriate. Like, that's kind of the thing about Defense. As in, you can sort of cheat a little if you want, but it's not. It's just like the Blades in the Dark thing, as in you should choose the action that's relevant and not try to get 18, which is a pretty monstrous high score. Yes.
So Aurelian D6. He is smooth D8. Unfortunately, I don't know if his unnatural is really the stat for this. As much as that would be fun.
Maybe you could teleport in. Like maybe that's the kind of There's definitely ways I would buy unnatural. It's the how rather than the why.
Yeah, no, I think he is. Yeah, okay. If I can be futzy with it, he is essentially body hopping possession.
Cool.
From different people on the ship to bring himself here. He is moving through their minds. Additionally, I have a question. I apologize. It's been a moment. When you call upon one of your siblings' names,
it
is the name, right? I can't ask them for help with their specific thing they're good at, right?
No, it's just names. Sorry, it's just their name dice.
Okay, so it's just their name dice. Okay, so I'll invoke Solandris's name. And this. Hand that back to you. That is a D6. And let's see. I will pull from...
If you want to play it, an actual GM tip would be there's no reason not to use the Ultra Thief.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll use the Ultra Thief. That's a good idea. I wasn't sure if I could use him.
Yeah, it's like, no, you definitely can in that way. So yeah. But that's actually, I think it's the Ultra Thief's one of the best cards in the game. But it's a rare case where it's a D12. So it even goes up it goes to the maximum dice size in this case.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, dang it! Like looking at the other ones, I was like, oh, he's my big guy. Boom, 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 and then I'll throw. Let's see, who do I think? Let's go with who hates the War Master most of all of our little friendos. The Blade Guild, the Solar Fleet, the Faith, the Terran Lords.
Good question. You'll probably find someone in any of those things. The Solar Fleet, I think the Solar Fleet are kind of the ones who are most practical in terms of, you've gone to this fucking mess. You know what I mean? Like, there's that element to the Solar Fleet.
Okay. The fact that someone besides the Lady of Blades managed to assassinate the Emperor.
That's annoying. That's good. I like that.
That is good.
Lady of Blades.
She's been raging about that ever since.
Yeah. Strictly speaking, it's the Faith she's the head of.
Yeah, but don't the Faith have a thing with him? I think. Yeah, he does have one on them. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Solar Fleet. I think that feels good. Cool. All right, so I think I've got 2 D6, a D8, a D10, a D12, and a D4.
Cool. All right, good luck. I think that's enough.
I think it's
enough. Fuck yeah. You get 17 glory before we forget.
Ooh. Nice.
But no, okay. We've described the situation the Ultra Thief reaching for the hammer, or took the gem, and they've just been detected. What happens then? How to just narrate? Feel free.
Yeah, we get just like a flash cut of like all these little perspectives of different rooms here in the War Master's ship until suddenly a half a step behind where the War Master is, we see their head lieutenant lift their weapon, but but as we see their eyes, as their head comes up, their eyes are glazed over in the color of Aurelian's new eyes as they shoot out their weapon and hit the executioner, killing them.
Wow.
They have been completely taken, and the whisper sort of behind the War Master is, brother, if you're going to try to destroy my toys, I'm going to destroy yours. The voice is unnatural. It is Aurelian's voice out of this lieutenant.
That's great. And then you're gone. And Lieutenant, like, imagine when you leave the body, the lieutenant's going to die because, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I think we see if this is okay, we see the War Master turn to like glare and look at this person. And then we see Aurelian, like their eyes just sort of drain of that milky color, and it's them again. And maybe the War Master's head flips back to where the Ultra Thief was, being like, well, at least I can grab, and the Ultra Thief's already gone.
This is like, there's a howl of frustration from the War Master. Like, poets and thieves, I'm surrounded by these useless creatures. And he reaches over and grabs another lieutenant and squeezes their head. I will crush the Empire and everything you've ever loved as surely as this. And the blood's running down the gauntlet. You cannot run from me. And I think like the dying words of the executioner is that kind of, I could have never caught her. You know, I could have never caught them. They're better than me in any way. And they leave from this world, heart well and truly stolen. Fantastic. In which case, hard cut back to the planetary system, the parliamentary system, everything rotating, people trying to make sure this operates. Things are pretty grim right here. I'm just going to pull up the dice. Because I reckon this might get warful as well. So, perilous, personal. Actually, I think it's the same set. D8, D8. 4 D8s, I think, and also the D4 again. So I'll just roll that again. Oh my god, he's rolling well. Not that well, actually. 15 this time. Still pretty brutal. With that, you should have the token off the Ultra Thief, by the way.
Oh, I thought I did move it. That's so weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Boop. There we go.
Fantastic. In the situation, there is incredible articulate diplomats moving around the system. There's also storming actions. People are shooting. People are moving from buildings. Those who won't actually sign the warrants are kind of gunned down. Various space. If you imagine like The Godfather, at the end of The Godfather, and you got the montage, there's a lot of that going down with some beautiful operatic metallic music playing as these assassinations take place. Who will face this challenge of, I guess it's rhetoric, actually, it's a challenge of rhetoric, but like obviously bring what dice you would want in.
I think there's 2 of us, right? Solantra certainly will.
Is this open to all of us, or
only you? Or you're allowed to defend if you like. Oh, sorry, no, I'm lying. You are everyone except for Aurelian can join this one.
Yeah, this is the C's roll, right?
This is the C's roll. To just be specific with the rewards is you decide what extra dice you get for free in the final challenge, or the finale rather, and you also get first pick of the factions to join your side.
I, Zalalaz Chosex, will participate in this challenge of rhetoric.
Yeah. To actually mention the dice on it, it is it's arduous. It's actually it's not arduous. It's perilous. So it's dangerous. So you would suffer a corruption if you failed this one. That's the only thing on the dice.
Yeah, I'm in.
Good luck. Do you want to set? If you have any assets you want to use, mention them as well, so I can tell you what dice to use.
Do you want to go first, Jim?
Are we rolling against something here, or?
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's 15.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why don't I? I'll go ahead and do this. Do we? So I'm Zalalaz, so I get a D6 for my name.
Yep.
I am engaged in a contest of rhetoric, which I usually have little use for, but I will dig deep and at the cost of pain also engage my cunning. And that's a mark of pain to do cunning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what do we got here? Let me see. Is there any reason not to use?
You should definitely use the star player.
Oh, pause for a second. Pause. I should have said
Yes,
this
yeah.
before we went to the stage. I should have like the effects of the defend should have happened already.
Ah, okay. So we don't get access to them.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, the image you get is the star player. He's also in hell, being dragged away into this eternal battle, running for like an end zone, which is never ever approaching in a kind of Sisyphean hell.
Oh, I'm excited for him. That will build character in a way that none of his previous workouts have.
That will be true. Oh, and the Maelstrom.
I was going to say.
Oh yeah. And those just the ships are overflying. The tyrants take over the base, and Mistress Raven is sort of in the ship, sort of saying, looks up and said, "Of course he wouldn't come. We try, my tyrant, we trained him well, and he's more my child than yours will ever be." At which point the spaceship to the board explodes, and the greatest admiral in the history of the galaxy is lost forever.
Rip to a real one.
And imagine the tyrant actually at this point saying, "Ships, head sail for Earth. I've got a lot of tension to get out of. Not least because I don't have a body anymore." Yeah. Right, now we go back to the dice selection. Sorry about that.
Okay, and what it's like help me understand exactly what our fictional positioning is for what we're doing here.
Okay, basically this is politically trying to secure as many people high up in the faction as you can. So it's basically a political situation. It could be spread across the galaxy. You can narrate it in, but I've sort of fictionally framed it primarily in the Parliament system because that's where the Lords of Terror are. That's the kind of where people might come together. But especially if you know who you want to pick, like you could imagine going among the people or going the priests, or there's lots. You can frame it however you want. This is basically how can you make sure a faction is on your side, and ideally multiple factions.
Okay, so I think that I have been carefully cultivating some of the more reactionary members of the Blade Guild who have begun to think that perhaps Aurelian is a bit too louche for their tastes.
Nice.
And lacking in discipline. And so I'm going to see if I can't activate them to use that token that I've got in the Blade Guild for this.
Cool.
So just remove that, and then that's a D4, right? Because that's a faction. All right. So I'm going to add that D4. And then what do I do if I want to use one of my sibling tokens?
Add the name dice, basically. So you just spend a token. So if you spend blue, you add the D6, red, dab at D6. If you spend the War Master one, you add a D8.
And those are the tokens that I've got on me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to spend one of my War Master tokens here.
Cool. That's a D8.
And add a D8, leveraging, my is he or isn't he, allyship status. I will happily call upon the War Master for his assets in this contest, because he doesn't want it. Because if I fall, that lessens his chances. So. All right, let's see what we got.
Right. Okay. Don't roll.
Don't do it.
Okay. Because we're rolling at the same time. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
You good. So Salandris is also going to approach this challenge of rhetoric. Again, not always Salandris' strong suit, but that's okay. Incendiary, of course, using legend, and I'm going to take a corruption, which is the second corruption, and I'm going to make war a d8 and also use it.
The best form of diplomacy, isn't it? It's very aggressive.
Listen, Solandris is dabbling in necromancy. Ask questions after you shoot. Seems very straightforward. And speaking of necromancy, well, I mean, this is a wave of assassinations, right? Solandris would be a fool not to use the abilities of the Bullet God here, especially since we're directly opposing the War Master, who he has reason to be peaked at. 6, and definitely going to spend a bond with Aurelian. Take that back. For D6, and yeah, I think also spend this last bond with Zalazaz. Kieron, are any rolls in the next stage going to be risky?
I must admit, I'm probably not doing any risky rolls. I've edited all the risky rolls out in this particular game. At this stage of the game, losing a faction bond is just boring. You know what I mean? Like that's my kind of take.
Also, it's a gate, right? Because if you are out of faction bonds, and I am also...
It's actually challenging is a gate. Risky is actually because if you don't have a faction bond, it will cost you a pain. So like if you like, it's that kind of
interesting.
So it's actually a weird gate because it'll burn all your actual resources, then it starts hurting you. So, but like, I've had the usual question, I guess. I'd rather take the pain is normally what people would say, because it's true. Because faction bonds are rare, but you've got a lot of blood. You know.
Yes, just a hot juice box. That's Solandris. Yeah, I think I will spend this faction bond with the Terran Lords as well. So it's an additional D4. Cool. So that should be 1d10.
Yeah.
1d8, a bunch of d6 and d4. I think it's specifically 4.
Push the Bullet God up to a d8 from a d6.
Hell yeah.
Because it's not perfect for the Bullet God, but it's not bad.
Yeah. You said d10.
D10? No, I said d8, I think.
You said d8. Thank you. I heard you say a word and it did not go 100% into my brain.
Optimistically. I thought you said
if
D20.
you want to give me a d8.
D100.
I'm not going to say no. All right, so that should be... give me a second to click the right buttons and not the wrong buttons. I'm going to do this quietly from the start so that I can do things correctly. Okay, that's a d10 now. Rhetoric. Bulgan. 2 bonds. Terran Lords. Okay, now I'm ready.
Right, good luck. Roll.
X
14, I think, for player 1, which is just short.
Is it?
6-5.
Yep, nope, yep, you're right.
Yep.
Alas. Oh, poor Solandris, man.
Jim, you still...
That's right. I forgot we're rolling simultaneously. Sorry.
Nah, you're good.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I like the look of that.
Oh, it might not be enough, though.
Oh, 8.
Oh, no, it's you do a D4.
8 and 5 is 13 and 3 is 16.
Fantastic. In which case, that is a massive... that you definitely win, then. So, not fail, but...
you can say fail.
Yeah, you suffered. It's the technical term. You suffer. Right,
you can say fail because it's not me that did it. So,
Solandris, you suffer. You suffer a corruption on that one. But we can narrate. Okay, the political situation is well. That's it. Sanders, do you want to talk about how you failed to kind of get the political leverage you would like?
Yeah, well, we talked about Solandris' sort of like emissaries and spies and agents being unsuccessful, so I think the obvious next thing to do is, hostages on the mind, kidnap their loved ones. But I think the information that Solandris has about what specific loved ones are is incorrect. And Jim, do you think Zalazaz had a hand in that? Or is that just the War Master?
I mean, no, like a Zalalaz, I think Zalalaz is as much lets you and him fight in this situation as he can possibly manage. Like, I think what's going to become clear is Zalalaz is doing the absolute minimum to aid anyone, so that to see how much they beat each other up before really making a decision about which way he's going to go.
Yeah. So I think Solandris, uses an enormous amount of resources and, kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel and, kidnaps this group of 5,000 carefully handpicked hostages that are just random people. Sends a ransom note to the Terran Lords who are like, I do not care. I am not related to that person. They just happen to have the same last name.
We don't negotiate with terrorists, they say.
Excellent.
Yep.
Is that the Terran Lords abstractly don't care? I was about to say, and the Bullet God is so offended at having to basically say, custom gods. I think, why am I guarding these people? The Bullet God is actively pissed off with you. I think that's as a thing. Why am I even doing this? Jim, but how do you kind of take control of this political situation?
I mean, like I said, I am like, I'm kind of going back and forth between the two camps, assuring each of them that I'm doing the maximum I can to undermine the other. Right. I'm there assuring Solandros that I did everything I could to vet that list, but that, the resources that that our brother can bring to bear because of the, because he's got the, the lion's share of the available resources of the Empire that he, stole from our father, just made it so that, and as it was, I prevented it from, and I describe how I prevented it from being even worse, to Solandros. I'm like, well, if I hadn't intervened, it would have been a whole catastrophe. Right. And then I go back to, the War Master. I'm like, oh, Solandros is devastated. And I think he's this far away from giving up, and what a coup this was. And, and just kind of like flattering each of them equally as I go back and forth doing my little worm tongue thing in each of their ear.
The War Master's rage is growing. Actually, one thing I've got to ask is specifically one and possibly two factions are going to end up being own personal loyalty to you. So which faction you think is going to be the ones who are going to be yours now? Like pick one, basically. And that's feel free. Basically, what happens now is you would pick one, then the War Master picks one, and then you pick a second one. So you get first pick. So So
of the factions?
Of the factions. So
it's 100% the Blade Guild that my agents in it, succeeded in their takeover of the Blade Guild from within.
Right, move it near you.
They grew tired of Aurelian's, lack of discipline, and they've come over to the
The anchorite is I can imagine you sitting on a throne, and then we kind of pull back, and you're on top of the anchorite that's rolling forward. I would say we move this closely to you. I'll move it over. Now, the fact you have not declared your side yet means that Aurelian's token remains on it. If you actually go on the other side, Aurelian's token has disappeared.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Solar Fleet joins the rebellion because we've set that up. Like the Tyrant is flying off, which means that Aurelian's. Oh my god! All those tokens beneath it. Surely not. Let's move them all away. But at least Aurelian. Anyway, either way, they've all gone now. So the Solar Fleet is now in full rebellion. That's actually the main kind of thing. And what's the second faction which owes something to Aurelian? Not Aurelian, sorry, Zalazaz. Oh, Jim, you're muted, I think.
Yes. I mean, I feel like fully consolidate. I mean, do I need to do that for the Faith, or are they already my faction?
Oh no, you definitely like this is the way you can officially own them.
Yeah, so, I officially own the Faith at this point. Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
I'm going to move them all over to you. Yeah. So that kind of like it's a bit like both Salandris and Aurelian have kind of got their own little empire of a planet, and when the Civil War kicks off, you kind of realize what a huge player Zalazaz has become on a political scale. But anyway, hard cut to we're back to it's simple. The War Master kind of it was realized at the head of the Solar Fleet. He's walking down the pathway. We saw Salandris walk first. He sort of examines the metal mark where Salandris left the scar in the opening scene of this whole thing. Looks up. We're going to wipe this away. And he sort of just like drinks. He rubs his enormous boot, removing the sign that Salandris ever stepped here. There will be nothing left of them. Tyrant, this is your fleet to war. Let anyone who does not stand by me burn, as surely as the Emperor was lost. And let my siblings know who is the true War Master. And then war engulfs the galaxy. Right, we're going to do an entire galactic scale civil war in this dice pool. This decides this dice pool who wins the civil war. And I will gather mine. It's a galactic war. It's D12. It's perilous. It's personal. I think it's there's a lot of dice here. D8, D12, D8. So 3 D8 and a D6. 3 D8, a D6 and the D12, which strikes me a little high, but we'll worry about that again. And also with the D4, because, you know, if you don't spend it, what would you spend this on? Hello, Iris.
Iris, no. Iris. Come on.
Yeah. Everyone, I'll just roll. Iris, I'm about to have a little fight in a game. It's okay. Right, going to roll this. Oh, he rolls badly. He rolls 13. Who will face this challenge of war? Worth noting, since Zalazaz won the Civil War, won the seas, he gets to choose which dice is added for free to this dice pool of war. So in other words, if you you don't whatever you don't need to, etc. That makes sense.
I will face this challenge of war.
Excellent.
Salandris is certainly showing up. With, one wooden duck. Arsenal somewhat depleted.
Just out of curiosity, what would sitting this out look like? I mean, can you even sit it out? Is that an option, or?
Oh yeah. It just means you don't get to narrate anything. You know, like you just see how the war falls, and
right.
But like, it doesn't seem like something a move any like warlord would do. It's like, yeah, what did you do during the Civil War? I just had a quiet day. I had an off day. It was nice.
Had to watch the match.
Civil what now? Yeah,
not my thing. I was on Theatricus at the gala, darling.
Yeah. Is there a cost to join in on this?
It's arduous,
which means
you suffer a pain.
Suffer a pain. Yeah, there we go. All right.
Oh, and since I took another rank of corruption, the flames around Salandris are now completely gone.
Ooh.
The heat's still there, but I think for the first time, everyone can clearly see the horrible beauty of Salandris' face.
That's awesome.
And you've got don't forget to take your advancement for that.
Yeah.
I already did.
Okay.
If you spend your, by the way, I'll just shout. If you spend your undead robots, will be a D10. By the way, I'm just looking at relevant things that might get an extra bonus above the dice size.
I mean, I'll take it. I know we're sort of tight on time. Should we just sort of all?
Yeah, I would say assemble your dice pool. I would
individually?
trust you to assemble your dice pool, and then say when you're ready to roll.
What happens if I take a pain that bumps me into agony?
Nothing for agony, but I mean the next pain you get will go on corruption instead.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, anybody, and if Salazar's, which will only be determined when he actually narrates, turns traitor, all those tokens on those two factions will disappear. So
I actually have a question, because we said the mechanical penalty for Zalazaz turning traitor was that losing a bond with each of us and each of us gaining a bond with Zalazaz.
yes.
I don't currently have one. Jim, just above the board, is Zalazaz going to betray us, or do you know yet?
I've seen the result of the War Master's roll, so I'm not going to betray you.
I was about to say,
Oh, yeah.
I will say you get to the before you actually say that. Yes, you roll poorly. If you roll well, you get to determine the war, and you also could kill the War Master and become the new War Master. I just feel like you rolling well can absolutely betray. You can still betray for yourself because you get to narrate it.
My plan is not to. My plan is to stick to our agreement.
I just say that as it's more like a mechanic thing in terms of like, if let me float the actual other people. Like if you roll best and decide to actually essentially become new War Master, you're allowed to do that too. So like Slandrus, it's not too late for you to betray everyone.
Oh, like I presume that was on the table, but I'm not about to let the guy who killed my dad win.
Cool, that's great.
I hated my dad, but like that was, but no.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Question: would you say that the Imperial adjuvant would be a D6 to a D8 in a situation like this, or?
I would say for an actual straight ahead war, no, it's just a D6. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, it's slightly too big for the adjutant.
Yeah, slightly too big. Okay.
Rogue Trader might be a D8 if you like, especially if you just like in the fic. If that kind of he's seen stuff that no one else has seen. You know, there's an element of like you could definitely work in a fictional positioned like thing quite well there. I think.
Okay, so then the rogue stays a D8 or then moves to a D10 because it is a D8.
Oh, it should be a D6.
Oh,
I got it. Oh no, is it a D8? It's a D8. Oh, in which case no, it stays a D8.
okay.
So I thought it was a D6.
Okay, but I'm just looking to beat an 11 right now.
And I'm gonna use my special ability to refer. What, like, is there a token for strategic mastery, or what is
you have a bond of yourself?
Got it. I will give the chaos player an additional bond.
Cool. I'll add myself to. I'll add that bond there. Done.
To give myself to refresh my strategic mastery and immediately use it.
Cool.
Man, and in this case, the fact that I'm
Salazar?
pretending to be his ally.
That's good.
Works perfect.
I'm ready to roll when y'all are.
Good luck, everyone.
And if we want to spend a sibling bond, we can just do that. Is that okay? All right. This is war, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's
And I don't think Aurelian quite hit 80, so we're all at a D6.
Aurelian, you're a D6. This is this thing where because we've got the screen showing, I'm trying to move the tokens in
I do that all the
in
time.
StreamYard, which it just does not work. All right, but I will do that. Boom.
Cool.
My bond with Aurelian for a D6. All right, and I believe that is a pool.
Straight. Everyone ready?
Here.
Wait, did you pull from my card and not yours, or?
I took a that's yes, yep. That's me getting confused about which tokens do what.
Yeah. It's that when playing online in this is it works. All your tokens are by you. You never take from anyone else's tokens. But in play, the ownership of space is different. So it's just something to think about.
So I'm removing a blue from my card, right? Is what I'm doing?
Yeah.
There we go. Got it. Okay. All right. I'll put that back in yours. Got it.
All right. Shall we roll?
Wait. No. Hang on. Sorry. This is war, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what's Salandros' name?
We're all D6. Nobody's hit.
We're all
80
D6.
yet.
Nobody hit yet. Then I. But just for narratives, this is a war challenge, so I'm going to spend my Salandros.
Nice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A token, yes, yeah, because he's the one that's going to burn all the shit down. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, I'll also on that educated word there. I'll also spend a Salandros. Let's do it. Go big, go home. It's the end of the game. All right, let's roll.
Let's do it.
Really, D4s? Really?
All right. 16 for Zalazaz.
So close. It's 15 for Salandros. Oh, second fiddle again. Oh, this poor hot person.
This poor hot person. I just fell flat on my booty.
So both of you got 15, and actually 15, 15, 16. Is that the scores? Wow. It's like, in which case I won't make you roll off because it doesn't, everyone wins. Salazar gets 11 glory, the other two Scions get 6, and let's narrate. Basically, the solar fleet is striking at every single part of the galaxy simultaneously. Bombs fall down from orbit. And this is a carefully planned military machine. It's like a gauntlet. As he said, it's a gauntlet crushing the galaxy. But there's more than just a hand to a body. How do you strike back? Salandros, how do you lead the battle?
Yeah.
Just pause for a second. Feel free to kill NPCs and like cause general chaos. We've still got like one last thing after this, but feel free to genuinely cause chaos.
Yeah. I mean, I think Salandros is probably the best position to go after the solar fleet. And I think we see this flagship, which no longer glows, right? There is no more light to Salandros, only heat and darkness. And I think we see it, even though the maelstrom is lost, the half-completed spell that the undead robots, I gave them a cool name and immediately forgot it, were casting, still allows Salandros to step sideways just far enough to target some of these main ships, and we just see them melt in space like they are made of wax beneath the incendiary presence of Salandros. And I think the sort of climactic scene of this is Salandros not even walking. I think Salandros is too hot for that now, but floating through the wreckage of the tyrant ship. And this time when Salandros takes the head of what may very well be Salandros' father, I don't know, sort of up in the air. Certainly someone who watched Raven die. There is no mercy and there is no stasis. There is only heat at the end.
Yes, it cooks inside the bowl. So this is entirely taken down. Aurelian, how do you take out this is going on in the battle, but the fighting's still going on. The heart may be torn out of it. How does Aurelian's tactics come into play? What art do you bring to the battle?
I think it's almost purely a non-physical presence. I think Aurelian is there, but they're not there. And we watch as their sort of psychic resonance just flows over the field of everything, encapsulating, freezing, jarring, allowing his siblings to go and wreak their physical havoc by essentially psychically restraining all the enemies.
That's good. And it's like the tactical battle is won by Salandris. The battle for Hearts and Minds is won by Aurelian, but it's Zalazaz who wins the civil war. How do you do that?
I am with the War Master, in his, as he's sitting on his throne, like with whatever, like his, his chorus of psychics who are keeping track of everything that's going on are one by one, like their eyes are melting down their face and they're collapsing as they're taking in all of this death and carnage and everything. And with everyone that collapses, he, slams his fist against the throne and everything. And he turns to me and he says, something like about how I always have a plan, or, I've always been the one, like something about like how defeat has never bothered me and I've always come back from it, like in that kind of like veiled insult way that he has of talking to us all the time. Bring your forces to bear, like he issues me an edict, a command to whatever thing I've got up my sleeve, now's the time to tell him what it is. And I just turn and I look at him and I say, I want you to know, brother, and I do not say this lightly, and I pull my head back and there's a single slow, glycerin tear running down my cadaverous cheek. Father would have been proud of you, because you succeeded in doing the thing he never could, bringing us together. I say, referring to me and my two siblings. And I just, and my chin dips once in a nod, and from the shadows behind his throne emerges a long fingered bejeweled ring, like gorgeous hand model hand, with just a very simple steel dagger in it that just draws across his throat like with a whisper. And and it takes him a moment to realize he's not quite sure what happens. And it's that thing where he looks over his shoulder, and that's when the arterial blood spray just bathes his psychics in front of him, and he does that stagger half a dozen steps, trying to talk to me. And I walk up to him and I put a hand on his shoulder, and I'm like, you did your best. He would be proud of you. Join him. He will be happy to see you. And he bleeds out on the floor of his ship.
That's perfect. And as the Civil War has ended, there's the kind of the warlord reaches out slowly, and in his own blood, fresh like a fountain pen from his neck, he writes a message in blood before you. I was trying to save you from the debts father paid. Now, the debt will come for all of you. And then the hand collapses. The Civil War is over. But beings beyond the stars, who own a very significant part of you, stir, moving. Right. The way this would normally work, have we got time for one more challenge roll? And it's the way it would actually work is the War Master probably wouldn't have died then. As in basically the Civil War ends, and then there's a final battle against them, which is a free stage thing again. And then you have another three choices in the middle, as in who lives and who dies. In this case, I think we've only really got time for one more roll. And even then, I'm pretty sure it's kind of base. And I reckon it's forward a few months, because you get a chance to research what he kind of knew. And the deal with the War Master, or the deal the Emperor Mid, with the beings beyond the star, was essentially a lone being of your souls. These kind of demonic souls put inside you. and your real souls have been in hell in this entire time. And now you will be returned. These creatures who've carved the Empire, you're going to be returned to where you came, and you'll be suffering forever in the hell instead of here. And they're going to come for you. And the art is, can you work out a way to survive this awful thing that has been presented towards you? I'm saying this is an unnatural challenge. The challenge is quite simple. If you beat this challenge, you can live. If you don't beat this challenge, you die. And hunted down in some horrific way. The rules about rivals are kind of like in play here. So even if you get the chance to say it's not over yet and just do a bit more narration and passing back and forth, let's use Hunting the Rebel as the card. Goodbye, Warmaster. Oh, Zalazar, you get the Warmaster Victor card as well, which is an asset for that reputation.
So, Kieron, is there any reason to not just spend every single?
Oh, absolutely not. This
Okay,
is like the way this would work. Probably would be like a defense stage and then a siege stage. The siege stage is about like what happens to the actual fate of the rebellion, and the defense stage is who dies, basically, and also whether the Empire becomes a complete parody of what you're fighting for. You know, if I was actually going to do this game, the defense would be Zalazar dies. You all lose all your powers forever as Scions. So the Empire continues, but you have no gifts anymore. And the third one is you are remembered. You know, this is remembered as the War Master's War, and they are a hero. They're the hero in the long run, and you are, just these kind of tyrants. And they're the three things you're defending against. You got a choice of defending against them or actually trying to win the game. So that's the kind of there's no win. Playing the full game, there's less of a win condition. Like you're always going to be like the Julius Caesar, as in, am I going to take over the Empire? I'm going to live. You can really only have one. In this case, like we said at the beginning, I think are you going to be taken from? We say it's the hell world. No, let's actually take you to a real hell world because you probably deserve it. Can you survive that or not? So yeah, there's absolutely no reason not to burn everything you have for this. And then we'll go through a quick epilogue. Cool. I'm going to do it quickly. So it's D10, D8, D8, D10. So 2 D10s, 2 D8. There's a Terran Lord bond. I'm going to spend the Terran Lord bond because I imagine the Terran Lords kind of want to get rid of you because they're assholes. There's 3 D10, 2 D8, and the War Master is strictly speaking dead. So we've lost those bonds. So I might spend the bond in the faith as well because it's already edging towards that way. So 4 D10, 3 D8, and I will quickly roll. Uh, 16. Okay, from the top. I think it's an unnatural challenge. This sounds like dealing with hell. You know what I mean?
Didn't you have a 10 and an 8 there?
Yeah, but I only get the top dice.
Oh.
Yeah. The math is different for the Chaos Mystery.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. It's a quirky thing about Paragon. Okay. The day comes and you feel the warp slightly turn. You remember, you probably studied the Star Player, how he disappeared. It's a bit like that. And things that are loaned from this hell, these dimensions beyond the stars, the debt is being paid, and you're going to be repossessed. Everything crackles. Everything is still. Who will face this challenge of the natural?
Azalaz Josex will face this unnatural challenge.
As will Solantris.
As well, Aurelian Rex, the Smooth.
So
very well.
I've got 1 gray token left. Does that go away because the War Master's gone?
The memory of the War Master lives on in you. So you absolutely.
I was there when he died.
Yeah.
He bled on my robe. Yeah, okay. All right. I'll buy that. Yeah.
He could have given you a weapon. He could have taught you something a long time in the past. You can. There's justify it how you will, but you can definitely use it.
I mean, what he gave me was, I saw the message he wrote, but I reported it to my siblings, allowing me to embellish it however I wished. So,
marvelous. Right. Everyone assemble your dice pools.
Salandris is becoming even more corrupted and reaches the next stage. And I think at this point, people are drawn to Salandris physically into this killing aura of heat.
Nice. I like a living black hole in this, red hot hole. That's awesome. Like, you are very corrupted, Salandris.
yeah, Salandris is. Yep.
You're gonna be at home in hell.
I was gonna say already mostly demonic.
And that's a D10 for the memory of the War Master?
No, he's only a D8.
He's D8. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, since Salazaz didn't have a hostage anymore, I guess you didn't betray us, so you wouldn't have destroyed the other two.
I did not. No, I did not betray.
Yeah,
It's
just
just
in the narration of the final pose, abstractly, probably anyone's up to gap. You can actually, you can absolutely kill any asset with the exception of the Ultra Thief. The Ultra Thief is safe due to the defend move earlier, but abstractly anyone else can be killed if people are feeling vindictive and chaotic.
So I get a D8 for using my victor for my victor goes to the victor goes the spoils thing.
Yeah.
All right, and then I'm gonna use one of my Aurelian bonds here. I think
You get a D8 for that.
Oh, because you bumped your name. 100%.
Yeah, because I hit 83, so I become
100% taking
D8.
it. Hey, Chaos player. Take another bond with yourself.
Jim, have you taken your glory, which was 15? No, it was 11 next one.
It was 11. I took it. So how much did I get for the one before that? Because I think I took 16 because that's what I rolled, but that's not how that works. I take what they
You take
roll.
what I roll, yeah.
And what did you roll last time? Did you roll 15? And I got 16? Or
no,
like
I think one was 11. I rolled 11 for the Chaos War. Let me just check the previous one. The previous one was...
Because I took the 11, I think. I think it was at 16.
Yeah, it's 15 was the previous one.
Yeah, so I'm at 60 because I took the 16. That's right. I beat it by 1. So
cool,
that's where I'm at now is 60.
Cool.
And what are those loose tokens in the?
They are the ones for marking which units, which card you're going to.
Got it. Oh yeah. Okay. I think that's everything. I got. Did I take my second? Did I add my second T10? I did not add my second T10 for recharging my strategic mastery. Strategery. All right, I'm ready to roll.
Cool. Good luck.
What was our target again? Was it 16? I think I wrote down the wrong number. 16?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, I love that 10 I rolled on my D10.
Yeah, but it's not enough, is it?
Pretty sure it is. I think I got 19, right? I got 10 and 5. I got 10 and 5.
Oh, yeah, so I missed
the 4 on my D4.
The fact that D4's normally been at the end of the row, so I missed it. It was in the middle, but no, you definitely get it.
Yeah.
I think player 1 is which one?
That would be me. Salandris is getting dragged to hell.
Okay, we can narrate how this operates. I was about to say, Salandris, I think you're just like, let's just go. Where are you when the creatures of hell come for you?
Yeah, I think Salandris is in Salandris's flagship. I think we talked about the inversion drive that turns you inside out. I think Salandris has been using that in addition to the sort of, formerly radiant, now incendiary, power that Salandris's hold, and I think when Salandris enters the warp this time, instead of exiting, Salandris is pulled in deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and through the deepest, most convoluted shadow parts of the dimensions beyond. And perhaps somewhat anticlimactically from the outside, it just appears that they're gone.
I think it's like a deep in, like when you're kind of be dragged down into this pits of hell, you find people waiting for you. Hand in hand, there's the tyrant, entirely with a body of flame, and Admiral Raven in a hellish throne. It's like, and the tyrant said, "My child, you now you join us," and you all start screaming forever. Aurelian, like, where are you when they come for you?
Oof, they come. So I've only one of us can pass, right? So I fail even with 17.
Oh no, one of you can pass actually. Yeah, anyone who beats you get to live anyway. You definitely don't get to you don't get to defeat. You manage to kind of beat them off essentially. I think that's, you know what I mean. Like you could drive them off, but it's only Zalazaz who shatters the enchantment.
Yeah, I think we just see they start to come for him, and Aurelian starts speaking, and as he speaks, he starts telling a story, and they become entranced in it. These demons have never heard creativity, creation. They are death and agony. But Aurelian has to keep speaking. He can't pause. He has to keep the story going, for if he stops, they will go back to their original mission.
They keep it hanging on. Then Zalazaz, what about you? How is this?
Oh. When these debt collectors come, Zalalaz basically like says, well, I could never, I declare myself a regent, right? Because I can't be the emperor. Only the emperor could have been the emperor. But I will like until he returns, I will carry out his duties. And so whatever pact the emperor made, I'll honor it. However many planets we need to feed to the engines of hell, however many of my citizens they require for their, infernal, to drive their infernal engines and stuff like that, I'll honor all of it. And I will renew our covenant with hell.
And the voices of hell speak back to you. We will discuss this loan in future. Congratulations, Emperor in Hell. However, we go to the epilogue now, and there's an interesting sort of irony here that after that thing, we immediately cut to Aurelian being crowned Emperor, because Aurelian's the highest glory. Like they're the most beloved creature in the universe. So I want to go first Aurelian. I'd like you to sort of say what's it like? What do you do with the Empire? What's your first sort of actions?
Oh, it's everything his siblings hated. It's so fanciful, and everyone has to go to theater, and everyone is like, there's now like a new assignment system in the world where everyone is assigned like what your archetype is. It's bad, y'all. It's all for his entertainment and delight. It's not fun.
It's awful bacchanalian stretching. It's an empire of pleasure, which is almost as bad as an empire of war.
Yeah, all you want is to sleep. For Christ's sakes, I just want a nap and no party always.
Zalalaz, you have. How long can you? How long can you bear this? Can you bear this, or is there a future problem? What do you think?
Oh, I can bear this because, like, I can. I just kind of shut myself up in my cathedral, and let the parties go on outside. I think, whatever, like I retreat into my, my research and I think, what it is, I've gotten all this insight into hell. I'm doing all this negotiation with them and everything. And I start thinking about what the War Master said to me. And, you know, and my final words are, rule in hell.
Interesting idea. And I think finally, the memory of Salandris. What memory does Salandris carry upon the galaxy? How do people remember the incandescent, the infernal, the ever burning?
Yeah. Not well, I imagine. Yeah. I think Salandris's name is a curse. But perhaps
may you be with
when,
Salandris soon, or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But perhaps the next time the Solar Fleet, or you know what has been left of them, and then scraped together into a confection parody of itself, discovers a new star system. They name that star Salandris.
That's beautiful. And the final image I'd like to give you is imagine, like in decades, maybe centuries to come, the invasion of hell is about to begin. The breach that opens, the holes are open in space. The ships drop through, guarded by pentagram fields, and the armies of hell, led by Salandris, are waiting for you. And we'll end the game. Thank you for playing Scions. Good work, everyone.
Magic.
Forward.